Did you do this? Did you push her off there?
Thanks for coming, Assistant Inspector.
Enough talk, let's hear it.
Yes, ma'am. The injured girl's a second-year student at Tsukiyomi Academy, Sayoko Shiranagatani. She fell from a fifth-floor landing, broken guardrail. We're looking into that. Oddly enough, the delivery truck parked below her acted more as a cushion than anything, so her injuries aren't severe, but we won't be able to question her for a bit. She's pretty freaked out. Is it an accident, suicide, or attempted murder? We can't rule anything out yet.
No, Wataya. Given the situation, I doubt this was a suicide.
Why do you say that?
Notice anything strange about those glasses over there?
Well, if I was a high school girl, I'd probably think they looked lame.
That's not what I mean. People who take their own lives generally care about their appearance before they die. A girl her age literally wouldn't be caught dead wearing glasses like those.
How do you know? Maybe she was just weird and liked the way they looked on her.
Open your eyes and tell me if she's wearing them in her school ID. This girl doesn't normally wear her glasses. She only puts them on if she has to.
You're right.
Wouldn't be the first time. Now start using your brain, detective.
Sorry.
Professor Sonobe, with your skilled educator's eye, do you believe you saw the freshman student Ayumu Narumi commit this horrid crime?
As one of the teachers here, I don't want to place blame on anyone, but I did see young Mr. Narumi standing exactly where Sayoko fell from.
Eyewitness testimony, folks! How do you feel about these accusations?
I already told you once I didn't do it. Besides, what kind of an idiot would try to kill someone by pushing them onto a truck parked not 50 feet below?
Only today, the truck just happened to be parked there. Any other day, any other time, it would have been a straight shot right to the pavement.
Care to explain this exciting new development in the story, Ayumu?
I don't have to explain anything to you.
But you look like you have something more to say.
Yeah, who are you anyway?
I am a sophomore at the Tsukiyomi Academy, 3.9 grade point average, and head of the school newspaper, Hiyono Yamazaki! Enough, young lady. It's my job to question the witnesses here, not yours.
This is from Professor Sonobe's sworn testimony.
Actually, I just transferred to this school a few days ago, so I've taken to exploring the campus during my lunch. As I turned the corner, I heard a girl scream. Naturally, I looked around to see what was happening. Then I saw her fall, with the guardrail in tow. Everything froze for a moment. When she hit the ground, instinctively I went to help her. Then I looked up and saw Mr. Narumi standing there. He didn't seem to rush to help.
That's his statement word for word. It makes you nervous. I'm trained to see this sort of thing. Now tell me again, what were you doing up on that roof, boy?
Like I said before, I was taking a nap. I got up, and as I was headed back downstairs, I heard someone scream, so I checked to see what it was all about. Don't like it? That's your problem.
Inspector, he obviously did it!
Calm down. Now, when you were on the landing, did you notice anyone else in the immediate vicinity?
Sure didn't. It was only me.
Ha! What a grade A moron! By saying that, you just placed yourself as the only person in the whole world who could have pushed Sayoko off that landing. You are the guilty party.
You know, I don't have time for this. If I don't get home soon, I am going to be in trouble up to my eyeballs.
Oh, is your mommy gonna yell at you?
Not quite.
It's his gorgeous sister who will be mad at him, if he doesn't hurry home right now and get a nice dinner ready.
Huh?
Sometimes I'm amazed you made detective. What's my full name, Wataya?
Inspector Madoka Narumi.
Good. Now tell me his full name.
Ayumu Narumi. That's the same name.
Brilliant deduction. You get a cookie.
You mean this kid is...
This kid is my brother-in-law.
What?
I'm going to let you go. I just hope you realize what kind of trouble you've gotten yourself into this time.
Trouble and I are friends. I'm getting used to him.
I swear that girl is such a freak. Wow. So that inspector is actually Ayumu's older sister-in-law. This story is gonna explode in the headlines! What is this supposed to be?
It's just what it looks like. Curry.
Of course it's curry. I'm not blind. I just thought we'd be eating what I wanted for dinner. You promised a Mediterranean bouillabaisse and mountain risotto. Where's the complex aroma of the saffron, the fresh tender mussels and scallops? I don't ask much. I just want good food.
I was busy being treated like a criminal all day. Sorry I didn't have time to prepare your feast before your arrival, Queen Madoka.
And what have we here? I thought it was strange that you didn't even dirty a pot-making dinner, but this is the last straw. A bag of pre-made heat and served curry.
Wow, nothing gets past you, does it?
Are you mocking me? I can't believe it's been 2 years since he disappeared. 2 longest years of my life.
I never noticed before, but you've kind of got an attitude at work.
Many people inexperienced in the real world confuse professionalism with a bad attitude.
Maybe, but you can't say the people you work with would call you nice. Ow. You can't get mad at me for speaking the truth.
Seriously, you know things don't look good for you, right? If a judge or jury gets a look at your testimony, you stand out as the only possible suspect.
Sure didn't. It was only me.
Those few words could pin you as the culprit. It's highly unlikely that this is a case of suicide, and it looks more like someone pushed the poor girl than it does a simple accident. Honestly, Ayumu, as it stands now, it looks like you were the one who pushed her over the railing.
So unless someone used a special trick we couldn't see, then I'm the only suspect.
What kind of special trick?
Figure out the trick and you'll find the real culprit.
You've got to give me more than that. What's this trick about?
Well, I'm just an amateur Madoka. I don't know for sure. I guess I'll wash the dishes.
You lie! You figured it out already!
No, but if I were you, I'd have someone keep an eye on Sonobe. Remember how he talked about the truck like he was some kind of expert on the parking lot? How could a person know that, having only worked there for a couple of days?
Good point.
No one would have known that kind of detail unless they spent some time keeping an eye on that spot. In other words, he really did his homework when he cased the area around that landing.
But he rushed right over to her when she hit the ground, meaning that if he did push her, he would have had to have run down the stairs just as quickly as she fell. Even faster. The story doesn't hold water. Sorry.
That's what I'm getting at. Unless someone pulled some kind of magic trick, I'm the only one who could have pushed her. Not to mention, Sonobe did make a point to shout at me at the crime scene.
Did you do this? Did you push her out there?
When he said that, every eye down there turned and looked at me. It was in that brief moment that he picked something up and slipped it into his pocket.
Earth to Ayumu, you still with us? You should really work on not being so introverted. Unless you speak your mind, you'll just be found guilty.
I'm not really that concerned about it.
How can you not be concerned about being the prime suspect?
Because I'm just a lowly high school freshman. You're the police inspector. I'll leave the detective work to you.
Ugh, you're so difficult. Just like your brother.
Okay, so I'm difficult. It's a family trait. But being indifferent to everything, now that one is mine alone. I'm all locked up inside myself. I just don't really know why. Am I scared of getting involved with something just to have it taken away? Or am I scared that when I open my eyes, I'll see the darkness before me and get dragged in the same way he did?
Until I can touch with my own two hands the unseen truth, I will not return.
I am not like my brother.
How are you feeling? Would you maybe like a sip of water? Sayoko?
She's got amnesia, too? That's twice for her. And bad news for us. I mean, if she can't remember anything, we could just question her all day and we'd still get nothing.
Doesn't matter. That note we found should be the key to solving this case.
Oh, yeah, that note they found in the bottom drawer of her desk.
That's how we know someone lured her onto that landing. Someone set this thing up for her to fall.
What do you think her past has to do with it? Does she have some secrets?
We all have secrets. She went to that landing yesterday to find some answers.
Amnesia or not, she acts like she can't hear anyone who talks to her. And for some reason, her family's been really uncooperative.
My brother was the best at everything he touched. There was nothing that guy couldn't do. I watched him my whole life, always wanting to be just like him. By his teens, he was considered one of the finest pianists in the world. Even with all of the acclaim, he quit like it was nothing to him. Then, in his 20s, the police nicknamed him the Divine Brain. He solved more crimes than they did. At some point, as I struggled to emulate him, I began to detest him, because every one of my struggles reminded me of his effortless nature.
I found you, Mr. Criminal!
Haven't you heard of due process? What do you want from me anyway?
I was simply curious if your cute little ears had picked up on the rumor yet.
What rumor?
What I mean is... The people have a right to know! What did it feel like when you pushed that poor girl?
I've told you a dozen times I didn't do it.
But the hallways are littered with whispers saying that freshman Ayumu Narumi is a heartless murderer.
So you just automatically believe these rumors?
I couldn't ignore them. The rumors spread like a virus. Someone is getting the word out on you as fast as they can.
Sonobe.
That's him. That's the guy that pushed Sayoko. Talk about creepy looking. See? You're the talk of the campus.
He's got guilty written all over that ugly face.
I heard there's still no solid proof that he did it. Tell me, Mr. Criminal, what do you plan to do now?
Go to my next class.
So, you intend to remain the object of the entire campus's attention?
I don't really mind it.
Strange. You don't seem like the type who relishes that stuff.
Attention is fine. It's when people follow me around everywhere that I get annoyed. Find someone else to bother.
No! You've barely given me enough for a quarter page. If I'm bugging you, let me help you find out who really did this crime. Then, I'll have a story worth printing.
You're dead set on making me out to be the bad guy here.
Sorry you feel that way, son. I just told it like I saw it.
Then I'll do the same, and soon everyone will know about you. I will figure out what kind of trick you pulled yesterday.
This is scary. It's hard to believe anyone could have survived a fall from way up here.
Pretty crazy.
And she was wearing her glasses? I always thought Sayoko hated those things.
What do you mean?
According to Hiono's data, she almost never wears her glasses, except for during lectures and dragon class.
And what, pray tell, is Hiono's data?
My notebook filled with every bit of info I can squeeze from the school. It's how I make my way, so everything in it is known only to me, and you can't see it.
Like I'd want to. She must have put on her glasses to see something in the distance. But what was she looking at? What or who did she need to see from up here?
Hiono, down here! We're on our way to lunch. Do you want to go? Yeah, sure. I'll catch up with you in a few. Oh, it's still scary.
That's it.
Huh?
Finally, the notes of truth are starting to play.
Great. Make it fast. I'm working.
I need you to check into something for me.
Okay. And that'll help us figure out the real criminal? I'll look into it and get back to you in a bit. Sometimes I would swear I'm talking to Kiyotaka.
Huh?
Professor Sonobe. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No problem. It's a nice day. What can I do for you?
Detective?
Right. We know someone lured Sayoko up there. We found a letter in her desk promising her some insight into her past if she showed at the 5th floor landing at precisely 5 p.m.
In other words, this was no suicide and no accident. This was someone's attempt at murder.
That's all well and good, but have you figured out who pushed her off? You're standing right next to your prime suspect.
Not anymore, Sonobe. Sayoko wasn't pushed, she fell.
You've got some strange theories, kid.
Because what happened was unique. And behind every weird occurrence, there is something so normal, most people don't see it. This is the trick you used. The unseen hands you used to push Sayoko off of that landing.
Hands? Isn't he wearing a pair of sunglasses?
I think he's saying that the glasses are what made her fall.
The victim was given a note telling her to come to the 5th floor landing for answers. I'm sure she was suspicious of the letter, but curiosity can be more powerful than any emotion. She was hoping that anyone would have a light to shine over her clouded past.
So she made her way up to that landing. But no one came to meet her. Like anyone, she looked around. It was then as someone far below caught her attention. But Sayoko is nearsighted. She had to dig out her glasses, the ones she hated, to see who it was that was looking up at her. That was your little trick. Imagine what would happen if you changed out a nearsighted girl's glasses with a different prescription. She'd start to lose her balance. Instinctively, she would grab the nearest thing she could find, the railing, which had been worked on earlier, making it no sturdier than a leaf in the breeze. Lucky for her, though, the perpetrator had two very important things go wrong. First, there's the truck. The day she fell, it was parked in a place that it usually isn't. Without that truck there, it's a 5-story drop to the pavement.
But the delivery truck actually cushioned Sayoko's fall. Without it, she'd be dead.
And secondly, when the culprit recovered the doctored glasses from the girl, he tried to carefully switch them with their usual pair. But he cut his fingers on the shattered glass.
The investigators even found shards of glass from the different prescription.
The melody of logic always plays the notes of truth, Professor. That's right. The person who did all this? It was you.
I was wrong about him. This Ayumu kid is really something else.
My young friend, the culprit was unlucky in a third way as well. He crossed the path of one heck of a detective. Kiyotaka Narumi's baby brother.
How do you know Kiyotaka? Who are you really, Sonobe? Why did you try to kill that girl?
The Blade Children.
Blade Children?
I'm going to pursue the mystery.
Of the Blade Children. Sonobe!
Hold it!
Better be good. A murder at the Manor of Death?
Yeah, you'd think they would have seen it coming. Anyways, this Manor of Death place Sonobe mentioned. Turns out it's where Sayoko Shiranagatani lives.
First she's attacked by Sonobe, and now there's been a murder in her home. It can't just be a coincidence.
The victim is Takako Adachi, a translator. She was here last night reading some specialized books Mr. Shiranagatani keeps in his private library. Ms. Adachi appears to have died from injuries sustained to her head, but not acquired in a physical attack. Apparently she collapsed to the floor for whatever reason and hit her head on the corner of this chair, causing the fatal blow.
Each of you stated that around 2 a.m., the estimated time of death, you were in your rooms.
Yeah, we'd all been asleep for hours.
There's always the possibility this was accidental.
If it was an accident, would she have left that behind?
Good point.
Who was the first to find her?
That would have been me, but Sayoko was at the library door first this morning. She didn't go in, though, because it was locked.
I tried to go inside, but the door was locked. Sayoko stops by the library every morning before breakfast. It's part of her routine. And what about you, Kay?
I needed a book for class. I had a test, and I wasn't ready. I asked Sayoko what she was waiting on, and she told me that the door was locked. She couldn't open it. So I bent down and took a look in the keyhole, but there was a key inserted from the other side. I figured that was why it wouldn't open, so I grabbed a pen and pushed the key through. That's when I saw her.
You got scared and rushed to find your in-house servant Reiko in the dining room. That's when you opened the door using a spare key, correct?
Yes, I keep spares to every room in this house. Are there any other keys to that room? No, ma'am, just those two. Who confirmed that the victim was deceased?
That's me again.
Mr. Shiranagatani, where were you during all of this commotion?
I was in my room.
I made him aware of the situation only after everything settled down. He isn't in the best of health these days. I'm sorry. Do you have some kind of illness?
No, ma'am, I'm simply old.
Ayumu? Were you the one playing that beautiful music? Oh, stop brooding for once and just answer me.
You must have imagined it.
Well, fine. If you're going to be smarmy with me, then I guess I'll just keep my newly acquired secret to myself.
Whatever. I really couldn't care less.
Not even if it's one about Sayoko.
Did something else happen? Is she okay?
Oh, I thought you weren't a fan of secrets.
Yeah, nice try. But the cute innocent bit isn't working for me.
I'll dish on all I know, if you'll play that song one more time.
Sorry, Hiono. I've given up playing the piano.
What? Given up?
Would you settle for a sack lunch? They're croissants. I baked them this morning.
You worked hard to bake them, so I'll work hard to eat them.
This lock is specially warded, not something you'd find at the hardware store. The key is a copper alloy and the design so complicated, duplication would be nearly impossible.
Yeah, but there's a deadbolt. The door could just as easily have been locked from the inside. Why would anyone go through the trouble of using a key?
I'm not sure. What I do know is that the construction of the lock is such that when the key is inserted, then it's very difficult to turn the deadbolt. The killer managed to contain the crime scene in a perfectly locked room.
No witnesses.
Then there's the victim's dying message.
Do you think there's some hidden meaning?
No, Detective. I just really enjoy the sound of my own voice.
That, we believe, was the last book she was reading. We found her fingerprints on it.
Now we're on to something.
This is so great! The sun is out. I've got a tall vanilla soy latte and a buttery homemade croissant. Every bite of which tells me how sweet a guy you really are. You must really love your sister-in-law if you always cook like this for her.
So, are you gonna tell me or what?
Tell you what?
Forget it. I'm gone.
Oh, okay, hold on. Where's your sense of humor? I'm just playing. My sources tell me that last night at Sayoko's house, a murder was committed in a locked room. No way in or out.
In a locked room?
Yeah, I thought it was weird and all, seeing that Sonobe tried to kill her, and now there's a body found at her home. It's too much of a coincidence for there not to be a connection.
The Blade Children.
Our conclusion is going to be a bit upsetting, but based on the security system settings of the manor, we have to conclude that this is not the work of an outsider. So, Raizo Shiranagatani, head of the house, Sayoko, his granddaughter, Kei, Sayoko's cousin, and the housekeeper, Reiko Hatsuyama. From here on, you should all consider yourself suspects. Wataya?
Oh, yeah. We also discovered that none of the victim's personal effects had been tampered with in any way. We can therefore eliminate robbery as a motive. There were also no signs of a struggle, leading us to believe that the killer either snuck up on or was familiar with the victim.
I don't know if all of you are aware of the victim's dying message. On the verge of death, the victim left a symbol meant to be a clue as to the killer's identity. We found a square spiral scrawled on the floor near the victim's hand. This book I'm holding is the last thing Takako ever read. Inside this book, I found a character that looks strikingly similar to Miss Adachi's message. The character translates as Lightning Gate, but is called Raimon, which I find very interesting. Don't you, Rizzo?
I doubt it's a coincidence.
Oh, no.
But I'm not sure that you're digging in the right place, Inspector.
Ayumu!
Oh, not you again.
Sorry for listening in on your conversation.
Great, you're here too?
Now march yourselves out those doors and away from my crime scene!
The Blade children.
Not this again.
You can't tell me they haven't been on your mind, too. You know something. I can sense it about you. Rizzo Shiranagatani, former CEO. You built up a multi-million-dollar empire in real estate single-handedly. Then you sent the business world into near-catastrophic shock. After adopting Sayoko, you quit everything to take care of her.
But where did you hear this? He got it from me!
And now, there's today's incident. The Blade children. This has to do with them, doesn't it?
That's a big mouth you've got.
All right, Ayumu. Now that we've been kicked out, do you want to tell me more about these Blade children? Ayumu? After what's happened to her, I was surprised to see Sayoko at school this morning.
You really keep your finger on the pulse of this place.
Of course, silly. I am the editor of the school newspaper. It's my job to know everything about everyone here.
Ever thought of using that book of yours to blackmail teachers?
That is so unethical. Ayumu, I'm surprised. Oh. Sorry to interrupt. Hi, Sayoko.
Got some interesting news about our victim. Apparently, Miss Adachi told her heart doctor something about acquiring a large sum of money.
Her heart doctor?
She suffered from a rare heart disease. Seems that anything, even the smallest shock, could cause an intense attack.
Where was the cash coming from? Blackmail, maybe?
Could she have been blackmailing the old man?
Ugh.
I've been told that my memory loss happened after I took a bad fall down some stairs when I was 12 years old. But no matter how I've tried, I've never found a picture of me before I was 12. I don't know what's true. Not that I have anything against my current family. They've been wonderful. It's just strange things have been happening, and it's bringing out questions.
What did you come here to ask me?
What are the Blade children? Takako said that one day she would tell me about them, but I never got to find out. With her bad heart, she was hardly around. Now she's dead, and I'll never have the chance to ask her again.
Her bad heart.
Right, got it. Please, Ayumu, if you know anything about the Blade children, you have to tell me. It might be the one thing that shows my true past. Without my memory, every single thing in the world is surreal to me. It's like watching myself on TV and not actually living.
Surreal. I feel it too. Why does something feel fake or out of place? There's something missing. That's it. There is something missing. Something very specific. Sounds like the notes of truth are playing.
The killer had an accomplice. Time.
How's that?
He manipulated time and space to cheat our perception of what actually happened in that locked room. The view from the keyhole is very limited. If the perp wanted to stay hidden in that room, there would have been plenty of space for him to do so.
So the killer was still hiding in the room?
Thanks for keeping up, detective. So when Kei and Sayoko leave to go call the police, our perp walked right out of the room. He closed the doors behind him, and here's the tricky part. He used a small thread of some kind to stick through the space in the keyhole and lock the deadbolt from the other side.
That means the killer is...
Rizzo Shiranagatani, you are under arrest for murder.
That's quite a brazen conclusion you've come to there, Inspector. There is a slight flaw. Wouldn't the killer need to carry the string with him in order to pull the deadbolt? I don't see this physical evidence anywhere.
You carry it with you all the time. The neck strap on that watch of yours.
Of course. By your deduction, I am, indeed, the killer.
Sweet! A confession!
You losers. He couldn't have done it.
Huh?
I apologize for her bluntness, but she is right. As you can clearly see, I am completely blind.
So that is a talking watch around your neck.
Hmm?
I saw you wearing it earlier. That's when I figured out you couldn't see.
Butting it again?
If this locked room murder had been pulled off perfectly, then there would have been no clues left behind, and the culprit would have vanished into the darkness of the night. That didn't happen, but a couple of things did that will allow us to uncover the real criminal here. The first of which is...
Oh, it's Miss Adachi's dying message.
Thank you. The second clue is something that should be among the personal items, but isn't.
Nothing was reported stolen.
That's not what I mean. The victim had a bad heart.
Her medicine, of course.
She had a disease that could rapidly bring on life-threatening cardiac arrest. So why would the medicine to prevent that from happening be missing from her things?
It was removed from her bag before she ever entered that room. That's it. The perp murdered Miss Adachi by causing her to have a heart attack.
Here's how the killer did it. A simple knock made Miss Adachi walk to the door. As she grabbed the key, the killer struck without ever setting foot in the room.
So the killer used a stun gun or something to give her an electric shock. That's why she scrawled the dying message.
I think you're right, but before that, something else had to happen. She would have gone to her purse for her medication, knowing it would be where it always was. But it wasn't there, and she got dizzy. That was when she collapsed. On the way down, she never saw what was coming. Hitting her head on the chair caused severe brain trauma, but didn't kill her immediately. It slowed her system enough for her heart to calm down, as her dying brain had one of its final thoughts. The thought of justice. The thought of a single clue to point at the killer with her last ounce of strength.
Now, hold on just a second there, Sherlock. You're saying anyone could have done it.
At this point in the story, that's true. Like I say, the melody of logic always plays the notes of truth. And of course, points to the guilty party. It stands to reason that if the killer wanted to make a clean getaway, he or she would have tried to slip the medication back with Miss Adachi. But with the new way she died and fresh blood on the floor, the killer couldn't chance leaving evidence behind by charging back to the crime scene. We can now see the killer had to be someone in a position to get back inside the room with a duplicate of that room's key. Someone who could get close enough to Miss Adachi to remove something as personal as medicine. Someone like the housekeeper. I don't know if it was on your boss's orders or what, but you're the only one who could have pulled this off.
Reiko.
Inspector?
Mr. Shiro Nagatani knew nothing about it. I take full responsibility for what happened here. I just hope that all of you can forgive me for my horrible actions.
Why did you do it?
My parents died in a factory accident. For some reason, the town blamed me for their deaths. From there, my life went downhill, and it was Mr. Shiro Nagatani who pulled me from the gutter and gave me my life back. To repay him, I took on the responsibility to protect him and this manor at all costs. Takako kept talking about the Blade Children, a subject that has been tormenting both Sayoko and Mr. Shiro Nagatani for some time. So, to fulfill my duty to protect this house, I could not allow Takako or Sonobe to get away.
Sonobe? Then you mean...
You mean you're the one who attacked Sonobe?
I know what I did is unforgivable, but Sayoko was in grave danger, and something had to be done. It was clear to me that this was the only choice there was.
I still do not know what exactly the Blade Children are, but I can tell you that they seem to be the cause of Sayoko's suffering.
How do you come up with that one?
A decade ago, my daughter left to be with a man. Then, just a few years ago, she returned with Sayoko. I never learned the details, because my daughter died days later from some unknown illness. From that point, I was father to Sayoko. The poor child mumbled things about being cursed. She was always frightened, like she knew ghosts were around every corner. Looking at these recent events, it looks like she's right. Nothing in the world can sadden my heart more. What if Sayoko is a cursed child?
After all that has happened, I still know nothing of my past.
It's still possible that with time, your memory could return to you naturally, but it might not be what you wished for in your dreams.
I don't care. Anything's better than this fake life.
A person sacrificed herself to protect this life of yours. It makes you wonder, if it's so fake, why is it worth sacrificing so much to keep it that way? I'd think about that one for a while if I were you.
Nice work on today.
Investigations with Taya. Yes? Uh-huh. What? Inspector, it's Sonobe. He's regained consciousness.
He's awake?
Rutherford making his way through the hordes of paparazzi. The young piano phenomenon is receiving quite a bit of attention here on his first voyage to Japan. I debuted at the age of 14.
1 year and 2 albums later, his fame spread across his native England and the Americas. Just last year, he gained notoriety in Japan when he starred in an exotic car commercial.
He released a solo album a few months ago, and it has already gone platinum here in Japan, which is quite a feat for a classical artist.
The 17-year-old pianist's live concert is tonight at the Center Recital Hall. Show starts at 7:30, but unfortunately, tickets were sold out a mere 30 minutes after being released to the public.
When you want to shop from the comfort of your couch and Shop TV, first up this fabulous 7-piece knife set. Each piece is fully hygienic, triple riveted handles that fit snug against your hand. The highly polished stainless blades in this set are some of the sharpest on the market. So sharp it can slice a dictionary clean in half. That dictionary is over 800 pages thick, and this blade slices through it like warm butter. What more could you need in your kitchen? If you call within the next 10 minutes, we'll throw in a free antibacterial cutting board.
I have breaking news for you. You're not going to believe it.
Quiet, you're going to make me miss the phone number.
Don't tell me you're actually going to buy something from that silly show.
I happen to enjoy this show, thank you very much. Besides, it's a 7-piece knife set with an antibacterial cutting board.
All they do is inflate the price of the knives to include the cutting board. They don't really save any money.
Never said I was looking for a deal.
Speaking of deals, I just thought of a great one. Please play the piano for me. I'll be your best friend forever.
Don't worry. I know all about you being called the Angel's Fingertips. And I know you carry the entire Japanese piano world on your back.
So come on, you will put on a concert. It'll be just you and me. No one else will know about it.
Knock it off! You're driving me nuts!
So is that your way of saying yes?
The antibacterial cutting board and knife sharpener.
I already told you. Gave up the piano.
But you just gave up playing in front of audiences. Don't think I didn't hear you the other day. Come on, just one song.
Then this is the pressure cooker.
Then suffer the wrath of my deadly piano punch.
Thought you came by here to tell me some breaking news I'm not supposed to believe.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. Apparently, Mr. Sonobe regained consciousness a few hours ago.
What? Are you serious?
I am.
Interesting.
Hey, what do you call a pair of identical wrinkles? Do you know? Twinkles. Get it? I can always tell when you're deep in thought because your twinkles come out.
Please stop playing with my forehead.
I have a demand. Somebody bring to me the younger brother of Kiyotaka Narumi.
Look, I don't think it's a good...
Would you stop being so stubborn? Ice Rutherford asked to meet you on national television, and you try to run away? I was supposed to interview him for the paper today, and I can't allow you to not accept his invitation.
All right, fine.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Come on.
I can't believe it! Ice Rutherford in the flesh!
You chose a fancy way to get me to visit. You could have just phoned. What do you want?
Play for me.
What do you mean?
I want to hear you play the piano. I'm very curious to see if the Narumi namesake can live up to the myths that seem to surround you.
Sorry to disappoint you. I gave up the piano years ago.
Clearly, you're lying to me. Not only have your hands been possessed by the piano, they conceal the passion you have for the instrument you continue to play to an audience of none.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Of what are you so afraid? Is the recognition that you're no comparison to your brother that frightening to you? You've been blessed with a gift, but you must be aware that your skills are at best an imitation of Kiyotaka's. You don't even begin to compare to the original. You're merely a cheap recreation of one of the greatest talents to ever live.
Who is this guy? And why does he continue to refer to my brother? He talks about him like he actually knows him. Maybe he does know my brother. Is that possible? And if he does, I wonder what he knows.
Ayumu Narumi, you will forever be a loser.
Okay, I know that was weird, but at least stay for the recital.
How can I if I don't have a ticket?
Ta-da! I was lucky enough to finagle another ticket from the lady at the front desk.
Excuse me. I found that ticket you were asking for. Here you go.
Wait, of course you did. It has my name on it. I wonder, who left them for me?
Details, schmeetails, you got 'em, so just enjoy the show.
Details matter.
Do you know what I think? I think the tickets were a gift from God. He must have wanted me to hear Ice Rutherford's beautiful piano music in person because someone decided he was too chicken to play for me.
Give me a break.
Ladies and gentlemen, the auditorium is now open to caretaker seats. The show will begin in 1 hour.
Isn't this exciting? Can you believe it, Ayumu? We've got front row seats.
These tickets are a gift from God. Thank you, God, for blessing us with these awesome seats. What a great story I'll have for the paper.
Good for you. An iris.
Where'd that come from? Is it for you?
I don't know.
I hope that's not what I think it is.
Well, it looks a little too dangerous to be a gift from God.
Hey! I'm a Chinese 9 disarming buttons in the correct order. Check out my keypad! Oh no, what am I gonna do? I don't want to die! Remember, there's only one correct order for the code. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you that if you mess up, the bomb will explode. As a special bonus, I'll key you in on your first key. You can disarm this bomb, but you'll need plenty of wisdom, courage, and of course, luck.
This is insane.
What's going on here?
Huh?
I'm a nice turtle, so I'll give you another freebie. See that bar coming out of the box? If you grab it with your hand, the time limit will be extended to 30 minutes, which should give you plenty of time to figure out the code. But watch out, there are heat sensors attached to the bar, so the instant you let go, boom!
What the?
I urge you to grab it if you've got the guts. But once you do, there's no running away. Unless you disarm the bomb, you and everyone else will be blown to smithereens. So much that open casket plural.
We've got to evacuate the auditorium.
There's no time for that.
Is the recognition that you're no comparison to your brother that frightening to you?
Come on, little hero, burn it!
Forever be a loser.
I will. I'll do it.
You will forever be a loser.
What?
30 minutes. Now there's enough time to evacuate the auditorium. Keep quiet about the bomb. Make up some excuse to get them out of here. And don't call the police, no matter what. You heard what the turtle said.
Got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the inconvenience. The auditorium will reopen in 20 minutes.
Hey,
Yeah?
you're an idiot, you know.
What?
You shouldn't have grabbed the bar. You really shouldn't even be involved.
Why not? I have full confidence that you can disarm it. I was right here for the turtle's entire speech. He said you can disarm the bomb with wisdom, courage, and luck. And I happen to know that you have all three.
Don't be so naive. Do you have any idea how many possible combinations to the code there are? Try 40,320.
40,000?
Only a fool would take that bet, and I'm afraid your confidence in me will cost us our lives. The grid, the keys, location of the first number. Are there any other clues I'm missing? And why the puppet turtle? Does it hold some significance?
He's trying to figure out the code right now. I can tell because his twinkles are showing up on his forehead again. You can do it, Ayumu. Have faith in yourself.
Shinobe, we need some answers. Why did you try to kill Sayoko Shiranagatani? What motive could you possibly have had? Did someone put you up to it? Who gave the order? Talk! Who are you, Takashi Shinobe? I want answers!
Easy.
I said talk!
Mind if I ask you a question? Why do you always tell everyone you quit playing the piano? I don't get it. I mean, everyone talks of your piano skills like you're the new Mozart. So why waste it? I vividly remember walking down the hall that day and hearing music. I thought to myself, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I wonder who's playing it. It was you playing the piano, Ayumu, wasn't it?
You heard what he said about me.
Who do you mean? Eyes Rutherford?
My performances are imitations of my brother's. I try and I try, but I can't find my own sound.
You merely achieved recreation of one of the greatest talents to ever live.
It's not like I tried to copy him, but whenever I tried to play in my own style, it ended up sounding like his. Pretty soon I realized I did everything like my brother. I'm a nothing clone. Not just with the piano, everything. And even though my piano abilities were like his, he was still far superior. I realized that I will always be known as Kiyotaka Narumi's little brother.
Is the recognition that you're no comparison to your brother that frightening to you?
Even though I've grown to hate the piano, it reminds me of the reality that everything I've worked to achieve in my life has already been accomplished by him. That's why playing the piano is so difficult for me. But still, I guess I can never give up completely.
I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at. Do you blame your brother?
I used to, but now I see it's me. I respect my brother very much. He's a true jack of all trades, and he masters them all. Huh? Wait a minute. Now I remember something he told me a long time ago. China, turtle, 9 squares. A grid of numbers. Could this be the same thing?
What's up?
Time to disarm this bomb.
What do you mean by cursed children? Tell me what you know, Shinobe. Answer me!
Death must be inflicted upon the cursed children. Inspector! Blade. Children.
Kiyotaka, will your brother really be the key to to saving the Blade children.
It was the grid of keys and the turtle's name that tipped me off.
What? You mean Lucky?
That's right. I'm pretty sure I can figure out the rest of the sequence and plug it into the keypad now.
It's good to hear that.
The solution goes back to ancient China. As legend has it, 4,000 years ago, an emperor from the Xia dynasty found a turtle on the banks of the Yellow River. When he looked at its shell, he saw that it was divided into 9 parts, and for some odd reason, each section was marked with dots. This turtle fascinated the emperor because he found a distinct pattern in the dots. He saw that when added vertically, horizontally, or diagonally, their sum was always the same.
I've heard of this.
In mathematics, it's referred to as a magic square. A magic square is a grid in which the sum of a line of numbers, whether it be in a row, column, or diagonal, always comes out the same. In the case of a 3x3 grid, the sum is always 15. Now, in a 3x3 grid with 9 slots, there are only 8 possible arrangements, and of those 8, there are only 2, where the number 1 goes here. If I punch in one of those 2 combinations, then I should be able to disarm the bomb.
You're amazing, Ayumu.
Problem is there's no way to tell which one it is.
What?
It's just like the stupid turtle said. It all comes down to luck.
Oh, yeah, now I get it. That's why the turtle's name is Lucky.
The thing is, I don't believe in such a thing as luck. There's a 50% chance of death here, so don't hold it against me if I fail.
I'm not worried at all. You're not the type of person to fail in a situation like this. I believe in you, Ayumu.
Here goes. Think, Ayumu, think. Okay. Usually when people are asked to put numbers in order, they prefer to start from the lowest number and count upwards. But whoever is responsible for making this bomb is much craftier than that. In which case, the disarming code goes like this. Hey.
Yeah?
I don't know about you, but I'd be perfectly content if I never did anything like that again for the rest of my life.
Congratulations! You disarmed the bomb! Little Narumi, the Blade children have been waiting for you.
So is it true that Kiyotaka's younger brother disarmed Ryo's bomb?
It's true.
Don't you think it was a little much for his first test? No need to rush if we just give him some more time.
Unfortunately, time is not on our side. Please, not the curse's mark again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now honored to present to you Mr. Eyes Rutherford. Death must be inflicted upon the cursed children. Blade children.
Little Narumi, the Blade children have been waiting for you.
What are the Blade children?
What are the Blade children?
You're hiding something, aren't you? Tell me what it is!
Let go of me!
No! Just tell me already!
You tell me first!
Just 10 more minutes.
Time to wake up. You're gonna be late.
I'd rather quit.
I thought you were the adult in this family.
Yeah, Narumi. What? You're sure it's Sonobe? Yeah, I'll be there in 30. Why are these people who apparently know Kiyotaka being targeted? What's this all about?
You won't be happy to see this.
What the...
The floor the victim fell from's been under a strict lockdown for the past few days. Everything seems routine except a watchman who got to work 5 minutes early.
Have you started questioning the watchman yet? It looks like Sonobe had a knife on him when he died. Any signs of a struggle?
Probably. Haven't checked yet.
No. Sonobe didn't resist.
You again?
Sonobe would have defended himself if given the opportunity, but he was pushed out the window from behind.
And your theory is based on what?
For someone hospitalized in a wheelchair, I find it unlikely he would have been able to pull out that knife in time to do any good.
It's possible the knife was planted on him, or maybe he planned on hurting someone, or even himself.
Don't you have school?
Both of them do have valid points.
Never mind the knife. What about these flowers? Do you think they were put here in remembrance of the dead? Notice how all the flowers are irises? Ayumu, maybe the killer is trying to send a message with the flowers. But why irises? Do they mean something? What do you think, Inspector?
I think the two of you should leave the investigative work to the professionals and get back to school where you belong!
I scattered the irises around Sonobe's body just as you instructed. And just to be sure we're on the same page, you don't mind if Luna Rumi happens to be killed in this next little trick I throw at him, right?
Go ahead.
Sweet.
Outside the window, kira 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 ki. The stars are twinkling. Ayumu, look at those beautiful doves.
Sure you want to skip school? It'll go on your record.
I've decided to use my position at the newspaper to pursue a breaking story.
Lucky me.
Am I annoying you?
Yes.
Come on, why do you always have to be a jerk to me?
No particular reason.
Fine then, I don't need you. I'll find the killer myself.
Nice catch.
Hey, buddy, watch where you're throwing things. You almost took my head off.
I don't mean to sound forward, but you're really cute.
Yeah, good luck convincing Mr. Grumpy over there of that. Speaking of cute chicks, does this little guy belong to you?
Yeah, his name is Robertson. Don't worry, though. He's harmless.
Huh? Well, hello there, Robertson. Here.
So, you up for a quick little game?
Sure.
Okay, in my hand I hold 7 cards.
Okay. Let's see what you got. Queen of diamonds, 2 of spades, 10 of hearts, king of spades, and aces of spades, diamonds, and clubs. That seems like a really unbalanced hand.
Go ahead, you can take the cards from me. Great. Choose one, make certain I can't see which one it is. Then, utilizing my unique reasoning skills, I'll deduce which card you chose.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay, let me see here. I'll choose this one.
Well, I know right away I can eliminate the 3 aces.
How come?
It seems unnatural there are 3 aces out of only 7 cards. When the average person chooses an ace, you get the misperception that you're limiting yourself to choosing from only 3 cards.
That makes some sense.
Basically, people who are extremely honest or extremely clever would choose an ace. I peg you as somewhere in between.
Okay, then it's down to 4 cards now.
Right. So logic tells me your card is the Queen of Diamonds. No, your card is the 2 of Spades.
You're right. Don't tell me I'm that easy of a person to read.
No, I just have a way with the really cute girls.
Interesting pickup line you got there.
Ayumu?
After you said her card was the queen, you saw her reaction and changed her answer. You also paused to check her reaction after you excluded the 3 aces.
This is true. However, one answer changes my limit. But how do you explain my method of narrowing down her choice to between 2 cards? Shall I confess, then? I assumed there was a high probability that she would choose neither the king nor the 10 of hearts. I figured that she would get a bad feeling had she picked one of those 2 cards. My reason for this conclusion being that you both just came from the scene of Professor Sonobe's death. Remember the flower petals scattered around his body? The shape on an iris resembles the pattern on the 10 of hearts. And the king, he holds a sword in his hand, much in the same way Sonobe was found this morning.
So you?
Killed Sonobe.
You did see the knife like this one near his body. Sonobe had been shadowing us for quite some time now. He wanted to kill us all.
You mean you're?
My name is Kosuke Asasuki. And yes, I am one of the Blade Children.
The Blade Children?
Well then, down to business. You want to know what the Blade Children are. To know about the children who possess a cursed mark. I'll tell you anything you want to know, as long as you beat me at a game.
A game?
Yes, it will test your wisdom, courage, and luck. I've prepared it already, and if you're able to beat me, I'll give you the whole story about us.
What happens if I don't win?
Well, let's just say you'll end up in a bit of danger.
Don't you ever do that again!
Ayumu, I hate to point this out, but you're hiding behind me?
Yes, I realize that. Thanks.
Cowering behind a girl? Real manly, Ayumu.
Sorry, it's just that bees are dangerous.
No need to state the obvious. It hurts whenever I get stung, too. And sometimes people even die from bee stings.
In my case, the chance of dying is 100%.
Anaphylaxis, an extreme allergic reaction to certain foreign substances, guaranteed death for those with the condition, but not before devastating bouts with hives, scorching fever, and choked breaths.
Who told you about this?
Your brother happened to mention it to me in conversation once, which got me thinking, what kind of person tells someone how to kill his own brother? Eh, little Narumi? Wouldn't you like to know about your older brother? Take this piece of paper. It'll tell you where to go. We'll play the game there.
Be there in 1 hour. That is, if you want to put your life on the line and get involved with the Blade Children.
Little Narumi. I have to wonder, is what Kiyotaka said true? Do you have the potential to save the Blade Children?
I'm glad you decided to show. Follow me. This elementary school was recently abandoned. It's the perfect place for this sort of game. Here we are. This isn't the time for cold feet. This way. Alright then, what do you say we get started?
Tell me about this game first.
It's a card game similar to the one before. I will begin by choosing one card out of this regular 52-card deck. Then all you have to do to win is guess which card I picked. Get it right and I'll tell you anything you want to hear. But if you get it wrong, I'll have to open the lid on this box.
You do realize there's no guarantee the bees will attack me.
I'm afraid I covered the note I gave you earlier with pheromones that attract this species of bee. In other words, you're the perfect target.
This game is bogus. I mean, how do you expect Ayumu to have a chance when you've already stacked the odds in your favor?
That's why I'm giving you a concession. I will allow you to ask me 4 yes or no questions. As it stands now, your odds of winning are 52 to 1. Depending on what you ask, you can raise your probability in your favor. And if you're smart, you'll find a way to get a peek into my choices and confirm your hunches before making a final decision. So, it's in your best interest if you ask the right questions.
What assurance do I have that you won't lie in response to a question?
I'm taking this game seriously, so you have my word that I'll be completely honest at all times. Besides, what fun would it be if I cheated? Okay, I promise I won't cheat. After all, your life is depending on this. You should know, little Narumi, that someone before you guessed my card under the same conditions. I know what you're thinking, and you're right. It was your brother. Should you decide to run, I won't stop you. You're far inferior to your brother, so the stress may be too much for you.
Just ignore him.
Better take this back before I stick it somewhere else. Anything my brother can do, so can I. Now stop wasting my time and choose your card.
Let's begin. I'll remove a card that holds your fate. And now it's time for your questions. Try guessing while you hum a little tune, the way that Kiyotaka did.
It's all right, Ayumu. I know what you're capable of. You won't get it wrong. You get to ask 4 questions, which means you can narrow it down to the card's color and suit, and possibly even the number. But you're smarter than that. You'll guess it by prying into this guy's mind, thinking how he thinks.
Okay, question number 1.
Here's something you might find interesting. Kiyotaka asked only 1 question before guessing correctly. The real question is, can you do the same? It would mean you two are equal, but remember, if you ask me more than 1, you will have lost to him once again. And you will sink deeper into the shadow of his success. What do you say, little Narumi? Are you up to the task?
I can figure it out with only 1 question, too.
Ayumu, be careful. He's setting you up.
Let's get this going. What's your 1 question?
You already decided which card you would choose before the game even started. Am I right?
That's right. Keen observation. But that's not the question Kiyotaka asked. So that's it. No more questions. Now guess, just like your brother did. What card have I chosen?
Ask the other 3 questions, Ayumu. Don't be stubborn. It's not worth dying over.
You honestly believe you outsmarted me. All that talk about my brother. How he needed just 1 question to win this lame game. I bet he asked something about how much of a twisted freak you are. But from what I've seen of you, I don't need to ask. The fact is, you are a twisted freak. And even though you like toying with your enemies, you would never allow them to get an edge. Before explaining your game, you removed a joker.
Wait a minute. That joker's from a different set of cards.
You didn't say anything when you removed it earlier. You didn't say that it was from the same set of cards, nor did you say that jokers would be off limits in a game. So technically, you didn't lie. But your deceptive presentation was tied directly to your choice of card. You wanted to hide the fact that you could choose a joker from the deck, and you needed the extra card to make that possible. In the process, you gave up the solution to me.
Your reasoning is logical enough, but are you confident enough in your answer to bet your life on it? I am a twisted freak after all. Do you really think I'd only use one simple trap in this game?
Yeah, I do. I have plenty of faith in my own reasoning. I'm not afraid, and I will bet my life on it. Your card is a joker.
You did it!
I win. I beat you fair and square. Now tell me about my brother and the Blade Children. Start talking, Asasuki. What's so funny?
It's frightening, the resemblance between brothers. You won the game with almost the exact same logic as Kiyotaka, and even your grandiose and cocky speech was the same. Well played. You've proven you do have wisdom and courage. Now step this way, and I'll tell you everything you want to know.
What's going on?
The continuation of the game. I never said it was over. On the far wall, you'll find a box underneath the cloth. Take a look. Not what you expected? I have a remote for that box, and with a click of a button, I can unleash those bees on you. Don't think escaping will be easy, as both doors and windows are locked.
So this is another test. What for?
Why, your luck, of course. It's gonna take a lot to escape from that room without being stung.
Are you trying to kill us?
Yes, I am. I have no use for you two since we Blade Children can't be saved anyway.
For eternity, we, the Blade Children, have been denied the blessing of true life.
I hear anaphylactic shock can be quite painful. Too bad I forgot to bring any antidote.
There won't be any dying today.
Impossible! How did you get out?
You're a twisted freak, remember? I assumed you would try something like this. My suspicions began when you decided the best place for the game would be this abandoned building. By choosing this location, you unconsciously revealed to me that you had ulterior motives. Luckily, I still had the note you had given me earlier today. I figured if you wanted to kill me using the bees, the best method would involve a swarm attacking me in a locked room. Then when you led us through that room before the game, I knew that's where you would try to do it. So I blocked the hole for the deadbolt with a crumpled up note. Then it was simply a matter of opening the unlocked door. You gave me your word. Now tell me everything about my brother like you promised.
Little Narumi, I neglected to tell you this before because it's a tragic flaw. But I'm not really known for keeping my promises. Unfortunately for you, the game will continue.
Kiyotaka, what in the world are you trying to do to me?
Ayumu? You really were amazing with that card guessing game.
Oh, yeah?
Your life was on the line, yet you didn't get scared or anything. In fact, both of our lives were at stake, and your advanced intuition and logic pulled us through.
Actually, I didn't use logic to figure out the card he chose. I used a trick of my own.
Huh?
This knife reflects pretty well, wouldn't you say? I stuck the knife in the table on purpose. I placed it in a spot that would give me a good angle on the card when he pulled it out of the deck. And sure enough, he gave me the answer without even knowing it.
What about all your deductions?
Just acting. I even tried to look angry when I threw the knife down on the table. Who am I kidding? I still don't believe in my own luck or strength. Kiyotaka probably didn't need a trick to figure out the answer. I'll never surpass my brother. So I haven't done anything wrong.
Not specifically, no. I just think you could try harder. You're a smart kid when you put your mind to it. Don't you think you owe it to yourself to excel as much as you can?
Not really. What do you care anyway? After all, I am just a regular old boring high school student.
You don't give yourself enough credit. You're not like all the other students. You have the gift. Someday that gift may change someone's life.
So, is that all you wanted?
Soon you will understand. Your nightmare's destiny will engulf you.
Huh?
I gotta say, he's pretty clever. Little Narumi, I mean, not only did he guess my card, but he survived stage 2. It's obvious he's Kiyotaka's little brother.
Your strategy was weak. You made it too easy for him.
So it's my fault then. So tell me, does little Narumi really have what it takes to change the destiny of the Blade Children?
That all depends on how the plan goes.
Ah, the so-called plan. You know, they call it fate because people can't change it.
So they do. But our fate was made by people.
Making it all the more unchangeable.
Stop lying to me.
But I didn't do anything, really.
Miss Suzuki, what's going on here?
Oh, Mr. Imazato. This student broke the window, and she's standing here lying to me about it. She won't admit what she's done.
I'm not lying. Someone really did throw a rock from outside and break the glass.
Then why are there shards of glass on the outside of the building? If the rock really came from the outside, there should only be broken glass on the inside.
But I didn't. I promise.
Stop lying to me!
Now, Miss Suzuki.
Mr. Imazato, I can handle this, thank you.
Hold up a minute. Don't you know? Glass has elastic properties. It bends when it's hit. This flexibility allows the glass to return to its normal state. The same thing happens when it breaks. The bending causes glass fragments to fly off in both directions. It's what's known as the blowback effect. The girl isn't lying. So if I were you, I'd clean up the glass and apologize to her.
He really is just like his older brother. So you've decided to take matters into your own hands.
Why not?
I know you. I know how you work. You're going to kill Ayumu, aren't you?
Please, it's not as though we haven't already tried.
At this point, he hasn't reached his full potential. He still lacks something vital, the ability to believe in himself. But there's no doubt in my mind that an irreplaceable power lies within him. Do you really intend to crush your last hope with your own two hands?
If he is what you say, then we won't be able to kill him. His power will make him invincible to us.
Listen, Rutherford. You go after Ayumu. Consider me your enemy. I'll hunt you myself.
That didn't sound like it went very well. Things can get a lot tougher around here if Imazato turns against us. He already knows too much about our plans. If he were to talk to little Narumi, it could make things much more difficult.
So why don't you take care of the little Narumi problem?
If it were that easy, I would have handled it already. Besides, he knows my face now.
In that case, ask young Rio to assist you.
Mm-hmm. Rio's good and she knows what she's doing, but I just can't stand being around her.
What's your deal?
Guess what? I've got terrific news.
Sorry, not interested. See you later.
But I found some information on Kosuke Suzuki.
Suzuki?
Kosuke Suzuki, 17 years of age, born August 28, 1987. That makes him a Virgo, by the way. He attended Morikawa Middle School until he was 14. In his second year, he had a run-in with a teacher and she was injured. After that, he disappeared and hasn't been heard from since.
Any family?
I couldn't find anything on his father, but his mother was killed in an accident when he was only 3 years old.
That's some pretty good detective work.
Oh, that was nothing. Just you wait, Buster. Give me a week. I'll find out where he lives, what kind of shoes he wears. I'll even tell you what he eats for breakfast.
Okay, that's scary. About Suzuki. Based on his background, I'd say he stays on the move. But he must have found somewhere to go. He can't be working alone. He must be getting help from someone.
Ayumu. Isn't there something you'd like to say to me?
Like,
thank you so much, Hyono. Because of you, the note's a truthful place. I don't know what I'd do without you. You know, the smoking worth of gratitude.
What? Why would I want to do that?
Ayumu,
What is it?
I just wanted to thank you for helping me today. Huh?
Not the brightest girl.
Yeah, not so much. So, what did you do for her?
Nothing worth being thanked for. No big deal.
I told you don't give yourself enough credit.
What do you want?
You should learn to accept gratitude when it comes your way. It wasn't much, but you did help that girl. You didn't have to, but you did. You see, it's important to believe in yourself.
That's exactly what I've been trying to tell him.
Ayumu, I'd like to talk to you about the Blade Children. Huh? I thought you'd be interested, but I'm putting myself at risk by speaking to you like this. Act like we're talking about school or something.
What can you tell me?
There are forces at work all around us, Ayumu. Right now, even as we speak, there's more going on than you can imagine.
I need some straight answers. Who are you? What's happening? And what am I supposed to do about it?
We'll continue our chat later in the lecture hall. 6 o'clock.
Left, right.
Mr. Imazato.
Huh?
It's only 5 o'clock.
I'm running a search on Kosuke. Maybe I can pull up an address or a phone number. There's nothing on him in the school records.
Something's going on in the lecture hall.
What's going on?
I don't know. Everyone's over there.
Come on, let's go check it out.
Wonder what happened.
Let's find out. Hey, what's going on in there?
It's Mr. Imazato. He collapsed on the floor. Is he okay?
No, too late. There's no pulse.
Ayumi, I'd like to talk to you about the Blade children. There's more going on than you can imagine.
Someone wanted him silenced, but who?
Hey, you guys can't just barge in here and start messing.
He's not breathing and his heart has stopped. Looks like rigor mortis is starting to set in. Don't bother with an ambulance. It's too late. Someone call the police right away. Now!
I'm on it.
All right, which one of you was the first to discover the body?
I did.
Tell me what happened.
I was passing by the class and glanced in. He was just lying on the floor. I called to him, but he didn't answer.
How do you think he died? There's no blood. He doesn't seem injured. Maybe he had a heart attack.
It wasn't a heart attack. He was gassed.
Gassed? I don't smell anything.
You wouldn't. The doors and windows are open. The room is aired out by now. Besides, this isn't the kind of gas you can smell.
It's really cold in here. I wonder if the air conditioning is turned on.
Cold. So that was the murder weapon.
Murder weapon? Are you trying to tell me this was a murder?
The timing's too perfect to be an accident. He mysteriously dies right before he was going to tell me a secret. The Blade children have to be responsible for this.
What's going on in here?
Mr. Imazato has been murdered. Don't touch anything and don't let anyone leave. Lock down the campus and wait for the police. This was definitely a homicide, occurring shortly after 4 o'clock this afternoon. The killer is most likely a female, and by my deduction is 4.5 to 5 feet tall. She is a student here and probably still among us. She wears a size 5 shoe. She's small, but don't let that fool you. She's dangerous.
How can you tell all of this?
Because the melody of logic always plays the notes of truth. Fiona, I've got a job for you. Can you take this information and narrow down a list of suspects?
Give me 3 days and I'll have it down to 20 people.
I'm counting on you.
He's counting on me!
Watch out. I'm coming for you, Blade children. Just as I thought.
But there's nothing here.
Exactly. The killer took it. The murder weapon, I mean.
Another weapon?
Yep, dry ice.
Here, it's a list of vital stats for all the students. Height, weight, age. Using this list as my starting point, I'll extract only the girls who are between 4.5 and 5 feet tall.
That still leaves us with over 50 girls.
This is where my skills really pay off.
I hope so.
I'll just review all their schedules for today and map out all their movements. Then I'll determine to whom each of them spoke, paying special attention to the area near the crime scene. By tomorrow evening, I should be able to get you a complete rundown for every one of them.
I gotta hand it to you. Your investigative skills really are something else.
Yeah, I know, aren't they? By the way, I was wondering, what does dry ice have to do with gas poisoning?
Dry ice is nothing but frozen carbon dioxide. Imazato was poisoned with carbon dioxide.
Huh, carbon dioxide?
Yeah, people don't realize that CO2 can be deadly. Just because it's in the air all around us doesn't make it safe. In highly concentrated amounts, it'll kill you, just like carbon monoxide will.
Yikes. So the room must have been filled with carbon dioxide left when the dry ice evaporated. Mr. Imazato went in and basically suffocated.
Exactly. Dry ice must be kept at a temperature below negative 94 degrees. When it evaporated, the temperature in the room must have dropped drastically, leaving spots of condensation around the podium. It was simply the natural moisture in the air that condensed into water when the room temperature fell.
I think I'm following you. So the dry ice had to have been in the podium.
That's right. And then once all of it had vaporized, the killer lured Imazato into the classroom. She probably talked with him as the gas slowly began to poison him.
Oh, I see.
The killer was probably someone he knew, so he wasn't suspicious. Plus, carbon dioxide is an odorless, tasteless gas.
But how is it that the killer was unaffected by the gas? If she was in the same room with him...
She'd need to know that the carbon dioxide is a heavier gas than oxygen or nitrogen. As the dry ice evaporated, the poison gas settled in the bottom of the room. The killer stayed safe higher up.
That's why you checked the area at the top of the classroom.
She turned the classroom into a deadly gas chamber, a sort of misty gallows. She murdered Mr. Imazato and escaped.
Okay, how did you figure out the killer's height and shoe size?
I found fresh footprints all over the room. They were most likely created when the killer stepped on the floor, wet from condensation. I determined her height based on the length of her stride.
And the gender?
Based on the height and small shoe size, the killer couldn't have been a boy.
All right, one last thing. What made you decide it was one of the students?
Well, there was no sign of a struggle or any other type of physical violence. By the time Mr. Misato realized he was in danger, it was too late. He had already inhaled the deadly gas, which leads me to believe he wasn't surprised to see the person who killed him, because she was a student here. If I were guessing, I would say that the killer is someone we'd never suspect.
Man, you got some nerve making me do all the grunt work. You know, dry ice is heavier than regular ice.
That's why I called you. I wasn't gonna carry it myself.
Impressive, though, the way you threw it together so quickly.
Who's there?
Mr. Misato, I need to talk to you about something important.
Ah, Miss Takeuchi.
What's wrong? Is it too cold in here?
Yeah. I wonder if there's something wrong with the air conditioning.
You know, it's always coldest when death approaches.
What did you say?
You're determined to stand in our way no matter what, Mr. Misato.
You're a...
Member of the Blade Children, Ryo Takeuchi.
What do you want from me?
It's simple. I have to be sure you won't tell Ayumu Narumi what you know about the Blade Children.
Don't you think that's a little unfair to him?
Do you actually believe that fate is fair? Oh, come now. If it was, then I wonder if the Blade Children ever would have been born at all.
I didn't realize you were so pessimistic.
It's not pessimism. It's the stark reality of the situation. Now, are you going to answer my question?
I won't stand by and let you kill Ayumu. I would gladly give my life to stop you Blade Children.
Well, if that's the way you want it, then that's the way you'll get it.
You can't hide the truth forever.
Mr. Misato. Goodbye. Kiyotaka's little brother is going to be a headache for us.
You think so?
He's very bright. I mean, look at the way he immediately figured out the physical description of the killer. He's amazing!
He has a keen sense of perception and deduction, so what?
But there's something more. Something extrasensory. It's a gift.
What did you expect? You challenged little Narumi by killing Misato at his school.
Ah, but Mr. Imazato was going to tell Ayumu everything. Something had to be done right away. I had no choice but to kill him there.
Don't sweat it, Rio. The reporter girl helps him out a lot. She's pretty smart, but without her tracking things down for him, he's got nothing. And even together, they're no match for us. Don't worry, we'll never be caught.
You're so stupid, Kosuke. If you haven't noticed, Ayumu is just like his brother. He is not going to walk away from this.
Huh?
In the end, though, we will be victorious. Your deductions are pretty solid, but we just don't have enough data. I can only narrow it down to 10 students. I've tried everything I can think of. Is it going to be enough for you to go on?
I'm afraid not. Besides, my deductions aren't that great. Even if we could...
Come on, just stay with me. You're gonna be okay.
The story began just a short time ago. I promised Ayumu my help, so I devoted myself to narrowing down the list of suspects who could have killed Mr. Imazato. Mowgli, Ayumu, your homemade sandwiches are too yummy! Fluffy hard-boiled eggs surrounded by creamy mayonnaise spiced with tangy mustard between two slices of lightly toasted bread and the crust cut off and cake, so emotional! Your Chinese box lunch the other day was great, too, but today's sandwiches are on a completely different level! With each bite, I can taste the love and care you put into each and every one. Such culinary expertise makes me so happy I want to blow my eyes out! It's a bit of heaven coming out of your kitchen and into my stomach, what I wouldn't give to eat like this every day! Ow. 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 I have a question. Say I do narrow this list of suspects down to 10 or less, and say those 10 are all pretty much the same type of person. How are you going to pick the killer?
Actually, it's something that Detective Wataya said that will lead us to the killer.
Wataya? What did he say?
Remember the death at Sayoko's house? The locked room murder?
Yeah.
Apparently, Madoka has been investigating Sayoko ever since the murder. She talked to Mr. Shiranagatani again, and he gave up some interesting information about the Blade Children and how they can be identified.
What are you talking about?
Before Sayoko's mother died, she told him one of the Blade Children's secrets. It seems they all have a very specific physical characteristic in common.
Physical characteristic?
You see, the Blade children are missing something unusual. They're missing their 7th rib on the right side.
If someone knows what to look for, they can find us. We're all missing the exact same rib.
Nobody knows anything about that, Rio. You need to stop worrying so much.
Maybe you need to start worrying more. Ayumu's sister-in-law has been investigating Sayoko a lot, so we must assume Ayumu knows more than we expect. It's the only way we can stay ahead of him.
Mr. Shiranagatani isn't willing to believe it. But the fact is, Sayoko is missing her 7th rib also.
So that's why Anazato had the X-ray photos in his locker. He was checking for missing ribs. At first I didn't understand when I saw the X-rays among the documents the police seized. He knew the Blade children's secret and was going to tell you. That's why they killed him.
We still need to narrow down our list of suspects. After that, we can start taking rib cages. The web has been laid out and the trap has been set. We've already won.
No, we haven't lost yet. We can still turn the tables on him.
You think so? Ayumu knows my basic physical description. He'll get to me through that. And if he knows about the rib, it's only a matter of time before we're caught in his web.
You're wrong, Rio. Their web isn't yet complete. And besides, the real problem isn't Narumi. It's the girl. She's the one who'll expose us. So, she must be eliminated.
The web is closing in, Ayumu. Soon we'll have this killer right where we want her. Huh? Ayumu! I realize that planning your dinner for Madoka is important! However, the least you can do is acknowledge me when I speak to you!
We're being pretty open about our investigation. Everyone knows where they should bring their information, right?
Yeah, I've talked to just about everybody. Wait a minute, do you think we may be too conspicuous? What if the killer decides to run away?
No, this person won't run away.
Why not?
Considering the trouble and planning that went into murdering a Misato, it's clear that the killer sees us as a game. When she sees our web, she won't run. She wants to beat me and won't give up that chance.
What is it?
Nothing. It's just that they're gonna come at us pretty hard.
I know you, Rio. You're planning to kill her on campus like Misato. But if you're doing this to challenge little Narumi...
Life is a challenge. I simply prefer to face it head on.
But he's with Hiono all the time. There's no way to get to her without him being around. The real challenge is getting this girl alone.
Easy. I'll set a trap.
Trap?
That's right. I'll set up a deadly trap somewhere fun. You know, somewhere where I know she'll have to be.
But are you certain you can take care of her this way?
I have a trump card.
Come to think of it, you are good at creating explosive situations.
Hey, Inspector! Guess what? Your brother-in-law is sticking his nose in our investigation again.
Are you surprised?
He and that school reporter are checking into their teacher's death. I know he's like blood to you, but he simply can't take the law into his own hands. This is a sacred institution.
Ayumu, what do you think you can accomplish all by yourself?
That's enough for today. Come on, let's get out of here.
Okay.
I'll walk you home. Please, try to control yourself.
Oh, so exciting!
What is?
It's just so surprising me walking me home. You're usually so cold to everyone. It's the last thing I would ever expect out of you.
I have my reasons.
Oh yeah, like what?
Like that the killer's probably gonna try to get rid of you. If I was in the killer's place, I'd want to eliminate you before we finished our list of suspects. So basically, they're gonna try and kill you either today or tomorrow.
Do you think you could talk about my impending death a little less casually?
Remember, the killer's in it for the challenge. She won't take the easy way out. If she comes after you, it'll be on campus with me somewhere close by.
So then why are you walking me home?
Because the last thing I expect is for the killer to play fair. You're just gonna have to trust me, alright? I knew they'd come after you, so I'm trying to limit their options and their opportunities. I just can't let myself get overconfident and make a mistake that costs someone their life. I considered poison first, but that was easily taken care of.
So that's why you made me those awesome egg salad sandwiches?
Look, you're helping me, and that puts you in danger. I owe you nothing less but to look out for you.
Still, it would have been nice if you'd have told me all of this from the beginning.
It doesn't matter. You still would have been a target. The way I figured it, they'll use one of two methods to kill you. One effective way would be a sniper. But I don't think that's very likely. An on-campus shooting would be tough to pull off undetected. That leaves them only one other option. They'll rig a trap.
A trap?
Probably in the journalism club office. Sometime when I'm there with you, and almost certainly their weapon of choice will be a hidden bomb. Don't worry about it. I've got a backup plan that will foil any attempt to bomb the office. I'll have them right where I want them.
Looking back, I suppose Ayumu's theory was logical enough. However, his judgment skills were at a level far beyond reasoning.
What are you waiting for? Hurry up.
Okay, right behind you. Hey, wait just 1 minute. You turned me into a decoy without my permission! Get unstoppable!
Wait a minute. There is one other way for them to break through our web. No, they'd never take that chance.
All finished. Aw, isn't he cute?
Alright, let me see.
He's just adorable, isn't he?
Adorable's not the word I'd choose.
Fine, you can't look at him anymore.
Jeez, Miss Sensitive, I'm sorry I said anything.
Okay, you can look at him again.
Hey, he kinda looks like a Franken kitty.
Get out.
So, you want me to come help you plant that bomb at the school?
Kosuke, you just don't catch on too quickly, do you? Don't you see? Ayuma would be expecting me to put a bomb in that journalism club office. He's counting on it. He and Hiyono spread the news all over school about their investigation. It's a clever ploy to get the killer to go after Hiyono. Can't you see that?
He's not that clever.
Don't underestimate him. He is Kiyotaka's brother. Ayuma has keen logic and uncanny intuition. He guesses our moves and sets up contingencies. I think he can tell what we're thinking before we do.
So now what? We just waltz into his web?
Don't worry. I've got a nice surprise for him. See you later, Kosuke.
Are you sure you're gonna be alright?
I'll be fine. Ayumu thinks he's got us, but he couldn't be further from the truth.
What are you talking about?
Trust me, Kosuke. He will never be the victor so long as he remains unable to believe in himself.
Are you ever gonna start making sense?
Time to go. We've got a busy day tomorrow. Ayumu, can I ask you something?
What's up?
Why exactly are you pursuing this mystery of the Blade Children?
Unlocking their secrets is the only hope I have for finding my brother.
So, why do you feel like it's your responsibility to find him?
Well, he's my brother and he's missing. I can't help but worry.
Are you so sure? You, of all people, should know how amazing your brother is, Ayumu. He's not the kind of person who will admit defeat. Even if you don't go searching for him, I'm sure he'll turn up safely sooner or later. I mean, how do you know your involvement isn't making it harder on him? You must feel that in your heart. And what about Madoka? Have you ever thought that maybe you're searching as much for her as you are for yourself?
They had been married less than a year when my brother disappeared. For 2 long years, she's been searching for him.
Well, here we go. This is my train.
Right behind you.
Oh, I can make it from here. Outside the window, kira, 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 kira. A shooting star streaks, kira, kira, kira.
I'm home. You got home from work early tonight.
I came home and I was starving. Where have you been? I've been waiting for my dinner.
What, are you a little kid? You could have made something for yourself.
Ayumu, I know you're nosing around in places you don't belong. What are you scheming this time?
Me? I'm not up to anything except cooking some dinner for the mistress of the house. Outside the window. Kia, kia, kia. Stupid Hiyono.
Listen, you have to stay out of official police business.
Madoka, I've been trying to find the right way to tell you this. I think you may be putting on a few pounds. Your pants don't fit you anymore, and your shirts are getting tighter and tighter. Explains why all the food in the refrigerator keeps disappearing so quickly.
Oh, really? Hang on, wasn't I telling him something?
And so, the night before the third and final day wore on for each of us. Sometime during the night, a slow, steady rain began to fall. It was almost as if the clouds felt sympathy for the tragedy about to occur. Ayumu, do you really think there's a bomb hidden in the office? Everything looks to be just like we left it yesterday.
They could have hidden a bomb in the computer. But I really don't think we're up against someone who would make such an obvious move as that. Too simple.
Before you make up your mind, you're driving me crazy!
I'm tired. The school day's almost over and nothing's happened yet. What do you think's holding back the killer?
That's a good question.
Huh?
Hi, this is the journalism office, right?
Oh, hey, it's you.
Is there something we can do for you?
Well, you see, I just found this stuffed animal downstairs in the school cafeteria. It had this note stuck to its head.
Don't tell me there's a bomb in there!
Okay, hold on. A bomb that small won't be that dangerous. And there's no way someone could count on it killing any of us in a room this size.
Do you hear that? It sounds like ticking inside the little kitty.
Wait!
Are you crazy? Why would you build a bomb and blow yourself up instead of the girl?
It'll be the only way I can keep Ayumu from discovering my missing rib.
But still, Rio.
Have faith. I've got it all figured out. The charge won't be enough to really kill me, just enough to blow out a couple of ribs.
I don't care what you say. It's too risky. You're asking for trouble.
Look, Ayumu's trap depends on him being able to distinguish me by my missing rib. If my other ribs are injured in the blast, it will ruin his plan.
So what's the point of you escaping his little web if you end up dead?
That's why it's going to work. It's the absolute last thing he'd expect.
So you've had it planned out like this from the very beginning?
I believe in my luck and I believe in my abilities. I will always win and I will always come back, even from the abyss of death.
How did I misread this so badly? Alright, calm down. Look at it logically. This isn't over yet.
We were right about the bomb in the office, but the rest of it caught us off guard. The girl Rio was badly injured in the blast. She's still in the hospital. She suffered severe trauma from her left chest to her side and lost a few ribs. Ayumu hardly talked at all when the police questioned us about what had happened. He was totally lost in thought. I wish he would stop blaming himself and let me help him figure out what went wrong. Hey, Ayumu? You haven't said a thing to me in hours. Let me help you. It was our plan that didn't work out, and we got an innocent little kid hurt in the process.
You're wrong about that. She's not innocent. I didn't really think it possible. The killer would do this to distract from her missing rib. Now I know they'll stop at nothing to conceal their identities.
Hold on. Are you saying she blew herself up just so we wouldn't find out she was one of the Blade children?
If she had really wanted to kill you, she would have used a much bigger explosive. Her plan was to injure herself. Rio killed Misato.
No way!
She's one of the Blade children, and she thinks she's in the clear. 3 weeks since the bombing?
It's so yummy!
So, Rio, you want to clue me into the next step in your little game with Ayumu?
I'm glad you asked. The next part is something I could use your help with.
Huh?
There's Rio's room, Ayumu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're too kind.
Well, we weren't entirely uninvolved. You seem to be doing a lot better, though.
Yeah, the doctor says I'll be out soon.
Too bad that stuffed animal was a failure.
What?
We tracked down the store you bought it from. I'm sure you assumed the stuffed animal would be obliterated in the explosion, so it would be impossible for us to find out where it came from. So you were either careless or lazy and bought it at a store near the school. I found plenty of them on the shelves. You failed, Rio. The store clerk even remembers you buying the stuffed animal the day before the incident.
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. The store's security camera captured the entire transaction.
You see, Rio, my information network reaches well beyond the school grounds. Sorry, you didn't stand a chance. The truth of the matter is, there was no security camera, and the clerk only thought he remembered seeing Rio at the store. It was all made up, just to see if she'd come clean. Now it's her turn. Time to see if she calls our bluff.
I know you're one of the Blade children. You won't get away.
I should have expected this from Kiyotaka's younger brother, but I am impressed you discovered I'm one of the Blade children. However, if we keep butting our heads like this as equally matched opponents, I don't think we'll ever see this thing through to the end. Okay, Kosuke!
Yo, long time no see.
Asazuki.
This is one messed up situation. Are you sure you want to go through with it?
I've always known that it would come down to something like this. And besides,
If I can't make it through this, how can I ever hope to beat fate? So, little brother, the time has now come to begin our final game and put an end to this.
Access denied. I'm blocked out of Kiyotaka's file? Why? The password's correct and I should have clearance at this level. What's going on here? It's not just Kiyotaka. Sonobe, Imizato, Adachi. I can't access any of their files and I should be able to. There's something connecting all of them. Something they have in common. But what is it?
Madoka, dear.
Commissioner Kanzaka.
The game is simple. It will settle things once and for all. One packet is plain old sugar, and the other is strychnine.
A poison. It kills you by causing respiratory paralysis and circulatory collapse. It's extremely bitter. Sensitive tongues can still taste it even when it's 400,000 times more diluted than this.
This is about 2 times the lethal dose. Only I don't know which is which. The packets are exactly the same. When I say we'll each choose a glass and drink the entire contents. Choose the poison and you can say your final goodbyes. We share the same risk. Which one of us will death drag away? Can you guess? I'll even let you go first. Go ahead, pick one. I don't mind getting leftovers. That way, it won't matter even if I do know which one has the poison.
What kind of an idiot would play this stupid game? It doesn't matter what happens between us. The law will still judge you.
Can it really, though? I have a funny feeling that this proof you claim to have is nothing more than a bluff. Did I guess right?
Why do you insist on this elaborate game? If you want me dead, there are much easier ways to do it.
You're correct. We could kill you easily if we wanted to. But something prevents me from doing so. A promise made to Kiyotaka.
Promise to Kiyotaka? What do these guys know about my brother?
What's wrong, Ayumu?
Calm down. Don't lose focus. Figure out what she's thinking and let logic do the rest.
And just so you know, I haven't done anything like poison both glasses like a coward. I mean, where would the challenge be if we both die?
Why should I believe a word you say?
Well, if you like, I'll pick one and I'll drink it first. If it kills me, then you win the challenge. If it doesn't kill me, you can do whatever you want. You don't even have to drink the other glass if you don't want to. But if you're the type who runs away, then you certainly have nothing to lose.
But poison myself on purpose? Only a fool wouldn't run away.
I'm not afraid to drink it. There's no absolute guarantee that I'm going to die.
You're talking about twice the lethal dose of strychnine. The chance of survival is virtually 0. You'd die instantly.
You're right about that. But to run away from my challenge, isn't that really the same as death? A terrible fate awaits you and will simply snatch away that which you desire and all you hold dear as it slays your spirit and mind. Yes, you understand. Kiyotaka took everything from you, and now you only live with your head down. I won't run away. I will always go forward to protect what I hold dear and to change my fate, even if that involves risking my own life to win. Do you see? If you can't overcome this little game, then your fate will undoubtedly still kill you eventually.
Fate means nothing to me. But it seems I have no other choice than to settle this here and now. I will accept your challenge, Rio.
Missing persons fall under the jurisdiction of public safety. Detectives like you are not to get involved.
You're telling me I can't access information regarding my own husband's disappearance?
I know this is hard for you. Kiyotaka was a good man.
The fact is, I'm not doing this for personal reasons. There's more to it than that. I believe that my husband's disappearance is linked to a series of recent murders.
You're an excellent detective. If I were you, I wouldn't want to tarnish my career.
But I think
Do we have an understanding?
Your strategies and tactics won't be of any use now, little brother. What you do need is the ability to believe in yourself. Your conviction that you won't lose will be the deciding factor in this game. Well, let's begin.
Wait. Do you really think this little charade of yours is going to fool me? The ability to decipher strategy is what will decide the outcome of your game, not the ability to believe or whatever. You really are something. You know, you're a lot smarter than you look, and you've got guts. To be honest with you, I wasn't sure what to think. I was trying to understand the psychology of a girl who was stupid enough to blow up her own chest just to hide a missing rib. You were intuitive and knew that my perspective had changed. You switched from evasion to attack. So you devised this little challenge to ensure that I would have a crushing defeat. Would you seriously put yourself in a position where you had a 50% chance of dying? You know, I really wouldn't put it past you to do something so crazy. After all, you did blow yourself up on purpose back at the school. But of course, at that point, the web we laid out was rapidly closing in, and the only option was to walk the tightrope of death. So now we find ourselves here. You've called my bluff, and at the moment, you certainly have the upper hand. It would seem that you have me right where you want me. So why would you find it necessary to bet your life again? Common sense would dictate that you wouldn't. This game is rigged, so you would have a 100% chance of winning.
But I gave you the first move. You chose your glass first. How could I have rigged the game? You saw everything I did.
That's right, I did see. And that's when you gave it away. You were going to drink first. If you didn't die, then by process of elimination, my cup would have the poison. Why would anyone in their right mind actually drink water they knew was poisoned? There never was any poison to begin with. Both packets had sugar in them. You started this scheme by blowing yourself up, making me believe you're willing to risk your own life. So all you had to do is drink the water, not die, and you'd win. I'd be too afraid to drink what I thought was a glass of strychnine. You'd have your victory over me, and I would walk away in shame. You said earlier you called my bluff, Rio? Well, now I'm calling yours. You did make a bad miscalculation, though. If one of us had actually died of strychnine poisoning, what were you planning to do with the body? What would you have told the police? They would run tests and discover that the death was a homicide. You wouldn't take that chance. These glasses are only sugar water.
Ayumu!
Impossible. The tongue-piercing bitterness. Strychnine.
That's just what I expected. You talk big, but when it came down to it, you hardly touched the glass to your lips before you gave way to caution. You didn't drink nearly enough to kill yourself. That's no way to go about changing your fate. You believe me now? I promised a fair game.
She really is willing to risk everything.
Just as Rio thought, the ability to believe in oneself decided everything. Little Narumi's reasoning was correct. Neither of the glasses contained poison. It was nothing more than an extremely bitter-tasting cold medicine. But Rio blew herself up at the school and raised the stakes. Little Narumi had to deal with the fact that she would risk her life for what she wanted. Plus, we made sure to point out that the strychnine is very bitter. As soon as the cold medicine touched his tongue, he couldn't drink anymore. If he'd really believed in himself, he would have gone through with it and he'd have been fine. In the end, he gave in to his own self-doubt and lack of self-confidence.
He was supposed to believe in his reasoning and drink the water. How can you face your destiny and fate if you can't have faith in yourself?
Hold it right there! I'm sorry, but I refuse to believe that Ayumu's reasoning was wrong.
But the results are in. Just look at him. It's obvious his reasoning was flawed.
Not a chance, Rio. I believe in Ayumu. There is no poison in this glass, and I'll prove it. See? It was nothing more than really bitter-tasting water. Too bad for you, but this isn't over. Regardless of what you think, Ayumu hasn't lost to you. You owe us another match.
I admit it, I did use a little trickery. But, whether you like it or not, he did lose the challenge. Look at him, he knows he's failed horribly. He thought he had it all figured out, but he didn't. And now he sits there, a cowardly loser, ashamed of himself, as he should be.
Oh, get over yourself already! Ayumu had you by the throat, and you were lucky you were able to slither your way out. You cheated rather than face a real challenge. Why didn't you go through with it for real? Why didn't you use real poison? Because you're the coward, that's why. You should be the one hanging your head in shame. You set up a rigged game and depended on a cheap trick to save your skin. You didn't have the guts to face him fairly. If you truly wanted to settle things, you should have put faith in your luck and risked your life. Instead, all you did was trick him. You knew that fate and luck were on Ayumu's side, not yours. You knew you would lose to him unless the game was rigged. You feared Ayumu from the beginning. You weren't afraid of a bomb, but you were afraid of Ayumu's ability to figure you out. You couldn't put your life in the hands of fate. You were the one who ran away first, so you can take your pompous, self-righteous attitude and shove it.
You frighten me, really. As much as I hate to say it, I think she's right. Sorry, today's just not your lucky day. Understand, we made a promise with Kiyotaka regarding Ayumu. He insisted that we treat him with a certain respect. He never said anything about you. If you're going to insist on being a problem, I won't hesitate to eliminate you.
So you're just gonna kill me too? Like you killed Mr. Imazato?
Yes, murder is just so easy. And honestly, life can be a whole lot less risky once you remove your enemies. Killing Imazato was easy, and killing you will be easier.
I've been waiting for you to say that. I've been recording everything you've said. The cops are gonna love this. You've admitted to murdering Mr. Imazato, plus you've threatened to kill me. Anything else you'd like to add to your statement? This is a pretty compelling piece of evidence, wouldn't you say? I started
started recording when we came into the room, so I've got everything. I had a hard time getting you to talk about it, but a good reporter knows how to lead her subject. You were being cautious, and that's understandable. But in the end, like so many others, you let your guard down. I think the police will find just enough evidence here to bring a solid case against you.
You sneaky little vixen.
I always save the trump card for the end of the game, don't you?
Okay, Hyono, what is it that you want from us? I don't think you'd be telling us this if you were just going to give that tape to the cops.
Yeah, I do want something. A fair rematch between you and Ayumu.
Hyono, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking about you, silly. Don't you like my idea?
You've crossed the line, little girl.
Oh, it can get much worse, I assure you. Ayumu, you have to hurry! Run! Get the tape out of here!
I wouldn't if I were you. Give the tape to Rio or watch your little friend here make like the pretty birdies and fly.
Ayumu, don't do it! As long as you have the tape, they won't hurt me! You know it won't do them any good to kill me until I get a hold of that tape. Think about it. They're not going to be satisfied if they have to end this challenge with brute force. Go, Ayumu! I'll be fine! You will face them another day, and you'll win! Believe in your strength!
Damn. Oh well, I guess we should just hold on to her for a while.
Kosuke, you might want to consider letting go of her.
Do you like it? My special stun gun packs 100,000 volts, enough to bring a bear to its knees.
Be careful with that thing, you could hurt someone.
That's the point, Kosuke. Maybe you'll think twice the next time you try to push me out a window.
So you could have gotten away anytime you wanted to. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, I like to plan ahead.
Then why didn't you just leave with him?
You guys having me as a hostage is just the kind of motivation Ayumu needs right now.
Come again?
I'm interested in the degree to which you want Ayumu and I to have a rematch. You're very passionate. But I'm not sure that your hostage plan was such a good idea given the circumstances. It might give him the feeling that he failed you and himself. Maybe this is the worst thing you could have done. No, this won't sit well with him, that's for sure. When he's had a chance to think it through, he'll see. The poor boy is finished, Hyono.
You know, they say when you fall, it's best to fall straight to the bottom. And the farther you have to crawl back up, the stronger and greater you will become as a result.
Things have become quite complicated.
Yeah, I guess so.
And what about the Iwazaki girl? Where is she?
We've got her locked up for right now.
So little Narumi has tasted failure, and now wanders the playing field, ever the loser. Kiyotaka said it best. The ability to get up after a defeat is far more admirable than the ability to...
This feeling. I know this. It's like when Kiyotaka disappeared, when he just vanished without any warning. Ayumu!
Why are you yelling at me already?
Do you have any idea what time it is? A kid your age shouldn't be walking the streets this late.
It's only 9 o'clock. Not even grade schoolers are asleep yet. Listen, I'm probably gonna crash over to a friend's place tonight. So sorry, you're on your own for dinner. And try not to oversleep tomorrow. See you.
Ayumu, wait! You are going to come home tomorrow, aren't you? I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. I couldn't handle you disappearing like your brother did.
I've said this before. I am not like my brother. Nothing like him at all.
Look, you're acting really weird. What's going on?
Good night, Madoka. And don't forget to set your alarm.
Ayumu!
Ayumu is so much like me that I have to feel bad for him. But that's all it is, a resemblance. He'll never become the kind of person I am. He might fall apart walking in my footsteps, but if he doesn't, he might be able to reach a place in life that I never could, even if I lived to be 1,000. Madoka, when he stands at his crossroads, please extend him a helping hand.
Ayumu.
Was I right?
Ayumu, you have to hurry! Run!
Was I right to run away? Was I right to run away like a scared little kid and leave her behind? Why am I like this?
And now he sits there, a cowardly loser, ashamed of himself as he should.
Outside the window, kira, 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 ki. A shooting star streaks, kira, 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 ki. The moon glows brightly, yuda, yuda, yuda-dee. Napping so peacefully in the ocean of the stars.
Kiyotaka said it best. The ability to get up after a defeat is far more admirable than the ability to never lose.
Breakfast is served.
You're late. I am a VIP, you know.
Yeah, whatever. Here you go, Kyoko.
My name's Hiyono! Just bread and milk? I always have a Japanese-style breakfast with egg, miso soup, tofu, and seaweed. Anything else just goes against common sense.
What does an idiot who lets herself get kidnapped on purpose know about common sense?
I am not an idiot. And if I hadn't let you take me hostage, you guys would be at a severe disadvantage right now. Honestly, you should be thanking me.
I don't get it. Aren't you scared at all? Think about it. Both Rio and I could finish you off in the blink of an eye. If your trump card, that little tape you made, makes its way to the cops, both she and I will have hell to pay. But we have things ready behind the scenes, so keep in mind, we could kill you right now and walk away.
But you would prefer to take care of all this quietly, am I right? You know how severe Rio's injuries are. Plus, both of you are still sitting around waiting to see what Ayumu has up his sleeve. And that means you can't get rid of me, at least not now. So until the rematch between Ayumu and Rio is decided, I'm safe.
Sold you short.
So I gotta ask, have you had any luck tracking down Ayumu?
Nah, still can't find him.
That's so. Sounds to me like your information network isn't working out for you. Finding a close place to keep me must have taken a decent amount of funds, which means you have at least some level of organization. But I do notice that you have a lack of people. What do you think? I'm trying to use logic like Ayumu does. I find myself thinking about lots of things in here. The young girl who lost her memory, the professor you killed off, the woman you used to threaten someone else, and the teacher who ended up knowing too much. You're in disarray. It looks to me like none of you have actually had the gall to take charge of this situation, and now the unknown is all around you. You're all trying so hard to deal with this fact before the damage that's already been done trickles its way down to you. You're like a tiny ship caught in a typhoon. But don't think you're alone. You may be in trouble, but Ayumu is being tossed around the seas too. All of you are sitting right on the edge of drowning. If you don't find some footing soon, all of you are going to be swept away. Kosuke, tell me, what exactly are the Blade Children?
You want to keep living, shut your trap.
Come in!
You look well.
Eyes, what are you...
I grew worried after Kosuke told me what happened last night. I was concerned that you might be depressed, but not quite as depressed as little Narumi.
Why would I be depressed? I made him fall to his knees before me.
But then, you lost to the Uezaki girl.
I don't feel like I lost anything. I just feel a little ashamed about the way it all went down.
Because things didn't turn out the way you expected them to.
There is that. But there's also a lot more to it. Little Narumi needs to believe in himself, of course. But I've got this nagging feeling that we might need to believe in him just as much.
Believe? Believe in the weak younger brother who's only focused in on the past.
Hey, Kosuke, as long as we're here, you want to fill me in on what it is you're fighting against? You obviously need Ayumu to help you win, but not the Ayumu you've already faced. You need a stronger, more confident Ayumu Narumi to help you fight your fight. Isn't that about the shape of things? But he's the only one who can save us. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is what Kiyotaka said. There may not be even a drop of hope left for us in this world.
Are you afraid, Eyes? Of being betrayed? Or maybe you're afraid that what you believed in is falling apart? If so, then you and little Narumi are the same. He too gave up believing to avoid getting hurt.
I try to avoid things that wear me out, like fighting hard. Besides, I don't think enough of that loser to bother. I don't care if I'm not saved. I committed murders of my own free will, and I became a criminal of my own free will. I don't expect that I can ever be forgiven, but when that time for redemption comes, I won't shy away. I look forward to meeting it head on.
I don't know much about any of you people, but I don't think you can ever be happy unless you fight fate.
And why would anyone fight a battle they were certain they would lose? That person would have to be a fool. A stupid fool.
Because little Narumi couldn't believe in himself, he wound up yielding to me. And because Hiyuno could believe in him, she ended up getting the best of me. I learned a lesson I should never forget. Only the believers in this world can find true happiness.
Rio, are you going to face little Narumi again?
I'm not really sure. I don't know what kind of fighting he's capable of, or if he can even make a comeback at all. But if he does come back, I'll meet him with full force. This time I'll come out swinging and show him what I can do. And though it may be sad, that is the only way we can ever hope to change our fate.
Fate. Rio, we may be cursed, but we are still friends. I don't want you to die. Take care of yourself.
Eyes? Thank you for the melon.
Even if the time comes for our soul-burning redemption.
You know, the investigations just aren't progressing at all. Imizato's death, bomb incident, we can't figure out a clear motive for either. We checked into how those two could be connected, but turned up nothing substantial. You don't want to hear it, but the only connection we could find, of course, is that your brother-in-law, Ayumu, is involved in both incidents.
Yeah. Ayumu. He's trying to follow the same path as Kiyotaka. The same path that caused Kiyotaka to disappear after he announced his pursuit of the mystery of the Blade Children.
He might fall apart walking in my footsteps.
I am not like my brother.
Although he's traveling the same path, Kiyotaka's shadow may be trying to crush Ayumu.
Nothing like him at all.
He might be able to reach a place in life that I never could, even if I lived to be 1,000. When he stands at his crossroads.
Hey, wait! Where are you...
Leave me alone! It's you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Ayumu. Ayumu? Where in the world have you gone? Ayumu.
Fate can never be changed.
You so sure? Come to think of it, this is where we first met, huh?
Madoka?
Remember that day, what you told me? You said that fate can't be changed, and you really believed that. This is a new one for me. I've never seen you look like this. I thought I was supposed to be the one looking down and depressed.
I'm not depressed, okay?
You are the spitting image of Kiyotaka.
I told you before, I am nothing like my brother.
Oh no? You've always chased after Kiyotaka ever since you were little, but you've grown up to be so angry. Angry at yourself for never being able to catch up to him.
I couldn't care less about that.
If you actually believe that, you wouldn't get so worked up about it. And you should really try looking at people when you're talking to them. What does it matter if you can't be his equal? It doesn't mean your life is over, you know?
You wouldn't understand. My brother stole everything from me. If I don't win, I can't take it back. If I don't win, my whole life is...
It's okay. No matter how you're feeling, I'll always be by your side. Even if you do lose, you should know that you'll never lose everything.
If I do lose this, then I will lose everything. I can't protect what's important to me.
Well, if that's what you believe, then you shouldn't be here all pouty and depressed. It's fine if you want to come home crying once in a while. Because if you stay in this state, you'll never win anything. And besides, regardless of whether you win or lose, I still need your help around the house. You are in charge of the kitchen work and the laundry, after all. Don't forget that.
When he stands at his crossroads, please extend him a helping hand.
Was that how you wanted?
Is that rain? It was sunny not 2 minutes ago.
The TV said scattered storms. Oh man, I really hate thunder. Kosuke! These stupid puzzle rings won't come apart.
There'd be no point if they came undone easily.
I'll undo you, smarty pants.
Jeez, she can be so childish.
I can't get these stupid things apart!
Whatever. You know, you shouldn't be so scared. It's just a little thunder.
I can't help it.
Little Narumi.
You're supposed to knock before you enter a girl's room, you know.
I did.
So, what do you want, Mr. Dripping Wet Loser?
I won't hesitate for a moment in sending the tape to the police. You probably have contingency plans if she escapes, but your actions this time are remarkably limited. Not to mention, you still have a lot of healing to do. You would like to avoid police intervention if possible, right? And that's why you can't just kill her now. But on the other side of the coin, as long as she is alive, I can't ask the police for assistance. The moment I do that, you'll kill her. Because there's no point in keeping her alive if the tape falls into the hands of the authorities. We're each holding the other's weaknesses, but as a result, neither of us can make a move. So, you want to trade the girl for the tape?
Yeah, like we'd ever agree to a stupid deal like that. You're not that hard to figure out, little Narumi. You could make a dozen copies of that tape.
No, I won't make any copies.
Huh. Your word doesn't amount to crap.
Look, even if I manage to somehow spring her from wherever you're holding her, there's still the possibility we could be targeted for revenge later. I need to ensure her safety even way into the future. My reason for the trade. End of story.
There's more than one way to put it, little Narumi. If you don't hand over the tape, then we can and will get rid of Hiono whenever we think is the right time.
My only choice would be to immediately hand the tape over, if that's true. But it isn't. You're not the kind of people who would be satisfied if I surrendered because of such violence. I'm not proposing a deal or a simple exchange. I'm proposing we finish what we started yesterday. You want to exterminate me.
And you'll let us do that? Lightning flashes. Oh, come on, Ayumu. If you don't save her soon, the imprisoned princess will have to liberate herself. Let me tell you one thing before going further. If we exercise angel-like fairness and give little Narumi a chance to fight and a chance for victory, then we are also prepared to snatch his life away like a demon. That was a restriction to which we and Kiyotaka agreed. In other words, I absolutely can exterminate you in this situation.
So if you give your opponent the same chance, then being unfair and deceitful is no problem? That explains why you attack everything like it's a game.
Little Narumi, if you can make a comeback now. then it is just as Kiyotaka said.
So tell me, exactly what kind of trade is it that you had in mind?
We each have something the other wants, wouldn't you say? The tape and the hostage. Whoever ends up with both is the proud victor. Follow me?
Of course I do.
So here it is. As of right now, the tape is in a place where I won't be able to recover it until after 2 p.m. tomorrow. Next step, I set things up so that if by chance anything should happen to me along the way, the tape ends up in police custody. In other words, you guys won't be able to rush off and injure me right off the bat. But on the other hand, if you learn where the tape is hidden and you can get there before I do, then you can steal it.
Continue.
You just give me the same chance I give you. At exactly 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, I will personally reveal to you the location of the tape. At that time?
At that time, we tell you where we've been hiding that little girl of yours. So it is just a simple exchange.
Not really. Both sides will know exactly where the other one is going. Don't you think you could find some creative way to slow your opponent down?
I see. What you're getting at is that it would be possible to get both, given the chance.
Exactly. That's the kind of game I'm proposing. The one who gets their hands on both prizes while blocking their opponent's moves is the winner.
Your rules are a little vague, don't you think?
You can decide on the rules. It's up to you, though, to make it a fair game of wits. That is my trade. Will you accept my challenge? Or run away?
Fine, I accept. But you will regret this tough guy attitude.
Try and make me.
We've been had. Hiono was right about this all along. That isn't the same little Narumi as before.
What do you mean?
Up till now, little Narumi never had confidence. His reasons for fighting were weak. He never had a clear purpose for himself in mind. But now, rescuing Hiono is the clearest purpose he could find.
You guys having me as a hostage is just the kind of motivation Ayumu needs right now.
That girl has turned this whole thing upside down.
Idiot. You can still win this, you know. Besides, it's not like you to be such a weepy mess.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
We need to concentrate our efforts on finding a way to outwit and bring death upon that little Narumi.
That's right. Even if you do have pride, I will make you regret every ounce of it.
Well, it looks like I managed to drag Rio into the game. Now the real show starts.
We're going to play a little game.
Another one already?
We weren't the ones who suggested it. This time it was little Narumi.
Are you serious? Oh, I can't wait!
Praying to God, huh?
Hardly. There's no such thing as God.
Is it okay for you to be up and walking?
No, I need 2 more weeks of rest. But this is no time for me to be lounging around in bed. Well then, let me explain how the game will work.
The object of this game is to get both the tape and you, the girl, which are located in different parts of town. There are obstacles, naturally, but there are no complicated rules. I'm gonna give you this key to hold on to.
What is it for?
It disarms a bomb that's been placed in a certain location. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that if you can't disarm the bomb within the given time limit, boom!
What is this certain location?
Wouldn't you like to know? Around little Narumi's neck.
It may be small, but it's powerful enough to blow your head clean off. By my watch, the bomb will explode at 2:30 p.m., so you'll want to synchronize your watch with mine. I know I don't have to say this, but the device won't come off without using the key. If you try and remove it by force, it'll just...
Boom. I get it.
And the key has been given to Hiono. Your time limit is 1 hour. If you can meet her before then, you'll survive. But if you do anything during the game, like call the cops or ask anyone for help, the collar will explode immediately.
You can expect a fair game from me.
Now, at 1:30, Hiono will be released, and the game will begin. How you decide to use the girl is all up to you.
So you're looking for a fair 2-on-2 match, is that it?
I suppose you could say that. Oh yeah, and we won't touch her for the first 10 minutes after the game begins. But after that, we'll start making our moves to capture her again. And of course, if we acquire the tape first, we'll eliminate Hiono without a moment's hesitation.
Since we're allowed to keep our opponents from reaching their goal, I suppose it's only natural.
We've got cell phones, and we've given one to Hiono as well. You can ask her for her present location yourself. All 4 of our numbers are programmed in, so you can call your opponents at any time. However, it is up to you whether to accept a call from them or not.
Wow, how thoughtful of you.
This is a large battlefield. Without the phones, the required teamwork would be rather impossible.
Think. If I try to meet her while on my way to get the tape, we'd have to be at a place near the tape's location. Naturally, these guys would be homing in on just that spot, which would increase the risk of Hiono being attacked. But if I make our meeting point at someplace far away, the chance of the tape falling into enemy hands is high. Even if I can elude the enemy enough to try to meet Hiono after getting the tape, there still might not be enough time. I'm walking a tightrope, no matter what I do.
Are you already regretting your decision?
Sorry to jump the gun like this, but I want to confirm that Hiono is okay.
Go ahead.
Ayumu!
Yo, Dingbat, I'm coming to save you. Bye.
Wait a sec. Is that all I can say? The nerve of him! Are you alright, my fair princess? They're not treating you badly, are they, my beautiful swan? How can you sit for the meaningful like that?
Don't look at me!
So, you want to tell me where your little tape is hiding?
The post office. I sealed it up tight and mailed it to myself. It should arrive around 2 p.m. today.
That's some good thinking there.
I'm sure you've thought of this, but keep in mind that if you arrive at the mailbox before me and check the mail, you won't be able to steal the tape if it hasn't been delivered yet.
The mailbox key, I take it?
The box is in an apartment building. Next to the manager's office are the mailboxes for all the tenants, probably to ensure protection of privacy. If I wind up dead from this and you guys still can't get to the tape, my sister-in-law will undoubtedly check the suspicious package, basically meaning it lands in the hands of the police.
Impressive. You really thought this thing through beginning to end, haven't you?
What, couldn't you have predicted that? I mean, come on. I predicted you would put this kind of bomb on me, right from the start.
Timing is more important than being the first one there. Kosuke is already near little Narumi's house, but now there's no point in having him rush there. This key is the bottleneck. We don't need it to open the mailbox, but if we don't, we run the risk of being seen by the residents or the manager. Which means that I now have a move to make, and it's going to cost us a lot. The stage is set. Everything's in place for our next match. The time limit will be 1 hour. And let the game begin.
If you don't want little Narumi dead, then you'll have to get out of here fast.
I won't let you catch me twice.
10 whole minutes. That's a big head start. Rio, I just let the girl go. She's on her way.
Then I'll explain our strategy to you.
Ayumu, the weather's so nice now. It looks like we never even had a storm.
Yeah, where are you now?
On an embankment. I see a river to my right and a railroad bridge up ahead, so I must be about a quarter mile south of Shimari Station.
I'm near the church, over a mile and a half away from you.
Ayumu, listen, let them get the tape. We have to remove the bomb from your neck first. There's nothing that can be gained from your death.
No, there's no point in doing any of this if it's not a complete victory for us. So, I'm sorry, but the tape comes first.
Well, you certainly do get assertive when somebody's worried sick about you.
I want this thing off as quickly as possible, too, but I can't, thanks to you.
What?
You went too far, Hiono. They're more than ready to kill you if they have to, you know. If they get that tape, they'll kill you immediately, regardless of the game's outcome. Worry some about yourself. The tape comes first. Yeah, I'll sweat bullets, but the bomb has to wait until the end.
Okay, then what do you think I should do?
It's all over if you're caught. So keep away from them until I get the tape. If you're near Shumari Station, then get on a train.
A train?
The safest place for you right now is on a moving train. Plus, they can't do anything violent with the other passengers around. You don't have to worry about getting caught now. They gave you a bit of a head start, right?
Yeah.
Just keep going back and forth between the first few stops. But make sure you return to Shumari Station around 2:10. I'll be able to get the bomb key from you in the remaining 20 minutes.
Get back at 2:10. Got it.
And choose the train wisely. You get on the wrong train and you won't make it back in time before the explosion.
Yeah, I got it. You can count on me. I will be there.
I'll give you the next set of instructions when I get the tape. Watch yourself until then.
Right.
I can tell what he's thinking for the most part. So listen, he'll put himself at risk somehow and wait until the last half to get the key. Getting that tape will be his priority.
Right.
You go straight for that tape, Kosuke.
Roger that. But what should I do about the mailbox key?
It's a pin cylinder lock. You can pick it, right?
Yeah, but it'll take a few seconds. It'd be a pretty messy situation if someone saw me.
Do something. There's just no time for me to get this key to you. During this, I have to completely crush little Narumi's chances of disarming the bomb. There is no other way that we can win this match. No matter what, don't let your guard down.
I am all over it.
First stop, Shumari Station. I have to get to Shumari Station fast. Trains out of town. Platforms 1 and 2 are for unloading trains only. That leaves platforms 3 and 4. This is exactly how little Narumi would think. Hiono needs to be in a location where her safety can be guaranteed. Her best bet for this would be inside a moving train. They figured it out! Should I go outside? No. Kosuke might be out there already, waiting to ambush me.
The next train on line 2 will be stopping at this station. This train is out of service and not portable. The high-speed express train on line 1, headed for Shin Wakakusai, will be departing shortly.
High-speed express.
The doors will be closing now. Please refrain from rushing.
No, should I get on? Oh no! Bye-bye! She got me. Excuse me?
Yes?
If someone got on that train by mistake, around what time do you think they would be able to return to this station?
Oh, well, let's see here. The high-speed express train makes its next stop in 15 minutes, so even if they transferred, it would be 2:31. So around 2:30.
Thank you very much, sir.
No problem.
Time-wise, that train has become a moving prison. Now I can assume I've destroyed any chance for him to get the bomb key. But even without a key, he still has a chance for survival. I guess I'll have to crush that too. I am so sorry, Ayumu. Rio was already there. She pushed me onto some weird train. I'm so sorry. I won't make it back before the bomb.
Calm down. It's actually a good thing she pushed you. As long as you're on that train, there's no way you can get hurt during this game. All I have to do now is secure the tape, and I'll have your safety secure too.
I may be fine, but what about you? Now I don't have any way of getting you the key. Ayumu, you're not seriously thinking it's okay for you to die as long as I'm safe, are you? You better answer me, Ayumu.
It turns out, unlike my brother, I actually am a fool.
The power to believe can alter even fate.
Are you listening?
Yes.
Before I say anything else, just know that I'm going to be okay. Rio said that she has a switch in her possession that can detonate the bomb. If that's true, which I think it is, then she can probably disarm the bomb as well. I'm willing to bet on it.
It doesn't make me feel any better. What are you gonna do?
Create a situation where if she doesn't disarm the bomb, she also dies.
You can't.
I'll call again soon. No. Just relax and try not to worry.
Ayumu.
Excuse me, miss.
Careful, Ayumu. Since he doesn't have the release key, little Narumi must be depending on my disarm switch as his last resort. Knowing him, he'll try to create a scenario that would force me to press the button. But he would only do that if he were positive that I would die in the explosion. To do that, he'd have to somehow increase the blast radius of that tiny bomb around his neck. More than likely, he'd want to set a large amount of kerosene or gasoline ablaze when the explosion occurs. Naturally, his possible locations would be limited. A place with nobody around, a place near Shumari Station in case he failed to get the key, and the only such place in town is the area around this bridge. So, before the game started, he must have hidden it around here somewhere.
What do you know? A postman that's on time. What a nice surprise. I'm gonna have to work fast. I got only about 10 seconds to pick that lock before someone notices. So sorry, little Narumi. The tape is mine. What the hell?
Oh, sorry about that.
Huh?
Guess I forgot to mention I sent a bunch of dummy tapes to confuse you. Pretty sweet, huh?
Dummy tapes?
Unfortunately, my plan did have a slight miscalculation.
And what's that?
Well, it turns out even I can't tell which one of them is the real tape.
You serious?
Man, that is one fine packaging job, if I do say so myself.
Why are you sitting there admiring them? Are you even trying to win?
Well, I don't know what to tell you. We're just gonna have to stay here and open each one until we find it.
He's trying to act innocent, but he's cooking up something here. I know it. Huh?
You shouldn't let your guard down. See ya. Ready, set, gotta go!
No! Stop, you thief!
Phase 1 complete. Now I just have to find a way to get this bomb off my neck. I'll call again soon. Just relax and try not to worry.
Okay, Ayumu. I'm waiting. But I can't stop worrying about you.
Sorry, Rio, but he got the tape. Are you there?
You're so stupid, Kosuke. Make your way to Shimari Station now. There is still a chance that Hyono's train will make it back in time before the bomb detonates.
What about the tape?
Don't worry about it. The tape is coming to me.
So, we have a chance. But Rio, be careful. In spite of his leg being on the line, he was smiling as if this game was nothing for him. He's either overconfident or downright stupid.
Of course, Kosuke. That's the Kiyotaka in him.
So, you need backup?
I'd prefer it to be one-on-one at the very end. Besides, little Narumi is already as good as dead.
Ayumu!
Yo.
Don't you yo me! Listen, I'm at Uchiyama Station right now. The earliest train back to Shumari is the express line at 2:16. It should be arriving just before 2:30. So if you're waiting there at the platform, I can give you the key as soon as the door opens. We'll make it in the nick of time.
Out of the question. Asazuki has stayed out at the station. Stop trying to make decisions.
Stop trying to make... I'm trying to help you here!
I know, Hyono.
But for this to work, you're just gonna have to do what I say.
Okay?
Yeah.
Alright, here's the plan.
Or at least something along those lines.
I understand.
Good.
And Ayumu? Please be careful.
Yeah. Now, this match will be decided in the very last second.
What is it?
Can we meet?
Are you wanting me to take the bomb off?
You want the tape, don't you?
Where do you want to meet? This time I'll come out swinging and show him what I can do. And though it may be sad, that is the only way we can ever hope to change our fate. Thanks to the constant pain, my senses are sharper. It's actually an advantage, not a handicap. Little Narumi, you have no way of winning. Looks like we've passed the 10-minute mark.
Looks that way.
Looks like we've passed the 10-minute mark.
Looks that way. And if I don't act fast, I'm going to die.
There's something you wish to find. This, right?
So you brought it. Thanks a bunch.
I absolutely will not press it for you. You are going to die.
No. I absolutely will not die. Kerosene. If the bomb explodes, I'm gonna burn up pretty good. As will this. You won't be fully satisfied unless you have my head as well as the tape, and I know how bad you need it. So unless you press that disarm button, you will die. Or, to put it just a little bit more precisely, your pride will.
You're right. Assuming it is filled with kerosene. I replaced the kerosene with water. Now all you have for yourself is death. After your head explodes,
explodes, I will take the tape from your lifeless hand and ensure my victory.
You can have it if you want. It's a dummy. The real one's still in the mailbox at my apartment. All I did was show Asazuki one of the dummy tapes, and he was fooled. Even you were tricked into thinking it was the real thing. How disappointing. Asazuki is waiting at Shimari Station, right?
Let me guess. Hiono won't even return to Shimari. Instead of giving you the key, she'll head to your apartment and retrieve the tape.
Of course. I told her to go by taxi and be there no later than 2:40 p.m. If you were to call Asazuki now, he would never make it in time. You're going to lose this fight.
This can't be. Could he really have known my every move?
You missed something. My top priority coming into this game was to keep Hiono safe, and you overlooked that. You lost this game all by yourself.
Very well. In regards to the tape, I'll admit defeat. Things will get sticky if the police get a hold of it, but I'm willing to accept that risk. But, even if Hiono is safe, you won't escape death.
You think so? I assumed you would change the contents of the gas tank in the beginning, so I was never actually relying on it being here.
So you bluffed.
I told you. You can't kill me. 3 minutes left. You want to see a miracle?
What?
Here. I'll let you handle the countdown.
He knows it's over. He's just trying to get a rise out of me before he dies. A miracle? There's no way it could happen.
You think there's no chance left for me, do you? I still have 2 solid ways to survive.
Your little bluffs are getting lame, you know.
The first possibility is that you press that disarm button.
Completely out of the question. I would never do anything so pathetic.
Then why are you looking after it so carefully? Wouldn't it be better if you just broke it or got rid of it? You're confused. You're not sure if it's okay to kill me or not. Right now, I have absolute faith that I won't die. There's no logic or anything to it. Just simple, unwavering faith. I think my brother said it once. The power to believe can change even fate. Let's find out. Am I the kind of person to die in a place like this?
I'm the one that holds his life in my hands. Me.
The happiness of those who believe. Is he really the key to saving the Blade children?
Calm down. Wait for the appropriate time.
There isn't much time left for us. We're living on the brink of death. It could all be over soon. Kiyotaka.
I won't press it. I can't save you. Even if the consequences are worse for us, I won't do it. Many times I have suffered and felt about to die, and yet I've always had my way. I won't bend to something this insignificant. I won't let you defeat me!
Then there is only one other way that this can end.
There's no other way.
You're wrong. There is. There's always the possibility the bomb's a dud.
Are you insane? That would never happen.
Are you so sure? Look around. Machines malfunction all the time.
I built that bomb myself. Not a million years worth.
Then in a billion years, it might malfunction.
It could never happen. But Kiyotaka could probably summon forth such a fluke. With his strong luck, he could make it happen out of necessity. If so, then could his little brother do the same?
What's the time? Should be less than a minute left. To be honest, I don't really know what you guys want, or what my brother is thinking, but the one certainty is that I'm being tested for something. Isn't that right? Well then, let us welcome the moment of truth together.
Only 10 seconds left. I'm still not gonna press it.
Calm down and just count.
7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. No way. What dumb luck.
I'm surprised as well. I guess I do have a penchant for luck, just like my brother.
My will, my calculations, lost to dumb luck? I can't accept that. It's crazy. Time doesn't lie. Time, stay back! Just as I thought. Confuse me while you still have some time to spare, trying to paralyze my sense of time. It's not that easy. You set your watch 2 minutes ahead. It was only natural that the bomb didn't explode when it said 2:30. You intended to take advantage of my delusion of defeat to steal the disarm button. It was a well-thought-out plan, though not completely unexpected from the little brother of Kiyotaka. Looks like I'm victorious. I have won.
I saw through you and won!
And with that turn of events, your death is now certain.
10 more seconds and I would have been able to take it from you. You realized too soon.
Too bad for you.
Yeah, it is too bad. Why can't I be more like my brother?
1 minute left.
Already? All I can do now is pray. I beseech you, O Lord, hear my prayer. Save this pitiful sinner.
There's no such thing as God.
Are you so sure? Look, my goddess has arrived.
If that's the express line that arrives at Shumari Station a few minutes after 2:30, then it'll pass on this very bridge before stopping. And if little Narumi was lying about Hiono heading to the apartment to collect the tape, then it's possible.
My prayers have been answered.
Ayumu, here!
Hallelujah. Disarm successful. I thought I was a goner for sure.
Well now, looky who it is.
Oh, fancy meeting you here, Kosuke. Did you hear the news? Ayumu won. So, little Narumi, I must know, were you betting on that exchange to happen from the beginning?
My prayers have been answered.
Ayumu, here!
Hallelujah. Disarm successful.
Well now, looky who it is.
Oh, fancy meeting you here, Kosuke. Did you hear the news? Ayumu won.
My brother would have found a more stylish way to defeat you. But this gambit took everything I had. I'm done with games like this.
Hold up. I'm confused about something. If little Narumi knew I was waiting for you at Shumari Station, wouldn't he have told you to get off at the next station?
He did tell me that, but the conclusion had already been reached. You wouldn't kidnap me now, would you?
I wouldn't be so sure. I'm what you call a sore loser, and as you already know too well, I have a tendency to not keep my promises.
Maybe so, but Rio's not that way.
That is a fact. But if Rio was comfortable accepting defeat, then I'll have no problem doing the same.
I lost. I can't believe I lost.
Don't look so down. You're the one with the better skills, not me. You see, I'm just not capable of betting my life on my pride or being resolute. I can barely even believe in my own ability. Fact is, I'm a coward who will run for a safe place whenever given the opportunity to escape. To be honest, I can't stop shaking even now. I don't even have the strength to stand. I'm pathetic.
What? What are you talking about? How can you not believe in your own abilities? Look at you, you're sitting on the ground like you just got beat up. You should be sticking your chest out in victory. Why aren't you standing tall like a true winner? Don't sell yourself short. You beat us, so believe in your abilities.
The only reason I'm alive right now is because you didn't fight your hardest. If you had, I would be dead. If you don't believe me, then just think back to the other day as proof. You beat me completely. That day, you correctly judged me as a pathetic person. You read right through the front I always put up and won. I haven't really grown at all since that day, Rio. Truthfully, the only reason you misread my tactics this time was because you had me confused with my older brother. That confused you and made you incapable of predicting my actions. It wouldn't have happened if you had just thought normally.
Ayumu.
In terms of actual skill, I lost. I was just lucky.
That's not true.
I know myself well enough. I always run around doing things randomly, never thinking of the consequences I may incur. It's only after the fact that I actually rack my brain and make sense of what's happened. Hindsight is 20/20.
It wasn't just luck. It was your skill that confused me, not karma or good fortune. You smiled calmly and remained quiet until the very end, exactly the way Kiyotaka would have done. And though you claim you were frightened to the point of trembling, you kept it inside yourself so I wouldn't see it. Please, don't deny that courage.
Maybe you're right, but my brother wouldn't tremble like me.
If anyone is capable of going where Kiyotaka couldn't, it's him. Our fate may change after all.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing? Come on, sit up. Oh yeah, that's right. She's still supposed to be in the hospital. Are you alright? Say something.
You're doing crying! Worrying myself to death! Just the you playing with that awful girl! How dare you!
I'm not playing around. Call an ambulance.
What? What's wrong with her?
Her wound opened up again. She's bleeding.
Rio!
Hey, little Narumi. Even if the police are able to get their hands on Rio, she won't say a word. In Rio's eyes, battle is sacred. She lost, so she'll let herself be caught and probably admit to killing Yamazato. Quietly.
Yes, but...
But what? I doubt she'll say anything about the Blade Children, which is what we know you want to hear about the most.
There's only one thing that I want to know about. Where's my brother? Where is Kiyotaka Narumi?
Sorry, pal, but I honestly don't know. I realize I haven't always been straight with you, but we can't even contact him ourselves. No one has a clue what Kiyotaka is planning to do with us Blade Children. Unfortunately, our future may be in his hands. Is that all you want to ask?
Yeah.
Fine.
Where are you going?
You've given us quite a bit of fun in the past few days. But unlike Rio, my people skills are lacking. Lying down like a dog to be captured just isn't my thing. And besides, the authorities would have a tough time nailing me on that tape alone.
Just go. But the next time we meet, I swear on my life I'll catch you.
What are you doing here?
Eyes? Rutherford?
How unfortunate. I had to see for myself. Rio lost to little Narumi.
So you're a...
Yes, I am. I am one of the Blade Children.
The Blade Children?
Little Narumi, leave right now. I will not hand Rio over to the police.
Hold on!
You have no say in this.
If you agree to leave now, you have my solemn promise to never again bring harm to you or that spirited girlfriend of yours.
Huh?
Oh, yes. You may even take the tape with you as insurance to settle your nerves.
Alright, I've had enough. Stop trying to insult me, Eyes. Listen, her crime has been proven. With the tape, I can cause all sorts of problems for the bunch of you. I'm sorry, but I refuse to be strong-armed. No deal.
If you decline to hand over Rio, the police will discover the criminal relationship between us and Kiyotaka.
Fine by me.
You mean to tell me that you wouldn't care if the police found out that your brother was an accomplice to known fugitives?
The police will catch your brother, too, if you're not careful.
I don't care.
You can't be serious.
It would be for the best if the entire world was against him right now. It sure would be a lot easier to find him if he was a wanted man.
Even if you choose not to care, isn't there someone who would end up suffering over this?
He's right. If my brother wound up being on the run, then Madoka would...
If you leave, I swear to keep my promise. What will it be? Then we have a deal.
It seems I have no other choice. But it makes me wonder what's going on in that head of yours. What am I to you people?
It's not yet time for me to say. Someday you will know.
Little Narumi, believe in your abilities. Believe. Ayumu!
Hey, watch where you're going, buddy.
Sorry, I'll make sure he's more careful from now on.
What in the world am I being tested for? What are they... No, what is my brother thinking?
Believe in your abilities. Hey, Ayumu!
What is it?
You must believe in your abilities. I agree with Rio. She may be our enemy, but she is right.
Be honest with me. Do you think this deal will actually make Rio happy?
No.
Then why did you even bother offering a deal? This is now a question of Rio's pride. Hey! Say something! Of course, you never say anything, do you?
We cannot afford to lose Rio's abilities now.
Did something happen?
The entire situation has changed right in front of us, Kosuke. Very soon, even more dangerous hunters will be tracking us.
Kanon? Kanon came to tell you that?
We must begin making our preparations immediately, before all of the Blade children are hunted down.
You're positive more hunters are coming? I knew this day would arrive sooner than later. Rutherford, is there anything else you need to tell me? A melon?
I meant to give this to her the other day, but got sidetracked. I thought she might get angry with me for forgetting it.
You make no sense at all, you know that?
Outside the window, a shooting star streaks, kira 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 ki. The moon glows brightly, yura yura yurari, napping so peacefully in the ocean of the stars. Then somebody came along and waved their special magic wand, spreading the magic of love to all. Come on, in a time of bright-colored dreams. That shooting star shines, kira 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 ki, and changes stunningly to a sparkly crystal drop.
What a weird song.
R2! In the bright blue sky, puka puka pukari, I fly through vapor trails and through cotton candy clouds.
Weird.
Ayumu, I know you weren't able to put Rio behind bars this time, but don't forget that you still won the fight. Plus, you found a way to guarantee my safety, which just goes to prove that you're the most amazing person I know. So what's the problem? Why can't you just be happy for yourself and all you've accomplished? Is it that you feel bad for how unfortunate the Blade children are? I mean, Rio did take quite drastic steps just to protect her friends' lives. She deserves credit for that. That must be what you're concerned about, right?
Hey.
Yeah?
Shut up.
You don't talk to someone like that when they're worried about you! You're sitting there all pouty and mopey, so I thought maybe I'd try to cheer you up a little! But no, you just have to be a jerk.
Look, I'm exhausted and my head won't stop spinning. Please, just lend me your shoulder.
Huh?
I don't think I've slept a wink since the day before yesterday. If I could just rest here for a minute.
Hey, check that out over there. Look at how he's sleeping on her shoulder. I bet they do it. You were great today, Ayumu. I'm so proud. The Blade children.
The poor child mumbled things about being cursed. She was always frightened, like she knew ghosts were around every corner. What if Sayoko is a cursed child?
Death must be inflicted upon the cursed children. Played children.
Why are their lives being targeted? Did something happen in their past to trigger this? Give me a clue, Kiyotaka. Wherever you are.
Yet another late night at work, I guess.
Little Narumi, believe in your abilities. Believe.
What are they expecting from me?
It's not yet time for me to say. Someday you will know. If you leave, I swear to keep my promise. What will it be?
Damn it. Am I just following in my brother's footsteps yet again? Am I being dragged into the same darkness that has already enveloped my brother?
Kiyotaka once said that the power to believe in oneself can change even fate. Is he telling me to believe in his brother, in little Narumi? However, there is no longer anyone left. That I can believe in.
Rutherford. But it makes me wonder what's going on in that head of yours. What am I to you people?
It's not yet time for me to say. Someday you will know.
Absolutely nothing has been resolved. Nothing about my brother, about them, or about anything at all. Another storm's coming.
When is Rio getting out of the hospital?
Not for a while.
I see.
Rutherford, when are these even more dangerous hunters you spoke of coming?
All I know is that they will be appearing very shortly.
Have you and Kanon been in contact with each other?
No. I haven't heard from him since that day.
Then how do you know about the hunters coming?
1 week ago, I received a letter.
A letter, huh? You know, it was last Christmas when he left us. Can't believe it's been almost a whole year. Hmm? Hey there, little fella. You sure are friendly. Let me see who you belong to. No tags. Looks like you're on your own, little guy. Better be careful out there. It's a big world. What's that?
Fried fish.
What? What is that, some kind of magic pocket or something?
Don't be absurd.
So you just happen to have some dried fish?
Never know when you'll need it.
When would you need dried fish? If memory serves me correctly, Kanon liked cats, didn't he?
A cat is a whimsical creature, yet proud and completely unraisable by people.
Rutherford, I should probably go check in on Rio.
Yes, give him my regards.
You should get in too. It's getting cold out here.
Annihilation is our destiny. We Blade children are children who must not live. Very shortly, even more dangerous hunters will appear to exterminate the Blade children.
Kanon. Where are you?
Oh, so you're finally awake.
Bosuke, who brought these?
Rutherford dropped them off here earlier. He said that they were from Kiyotaka.
Eyes actually came to see me? Bosuke, you stupid idiot. Why didn't you wake me up?
I didn't know you wanted to see him that badly. I think he's still downstairs.
I needed to talk to him to tell him to bring me some more melons the next time he comes.
If you just lay around and eat all day, you're gonna get fat.
Bosuke, you're such a jerk. Tell Eyes what I want for my Christmas present. I want Santa Claus to bring me a big chocolate cake, and I want him to bring me a muskmelon, and I don't want any more flowers.
You can't be serious.
Just tell him, and bring him an umbrella. It looks like it's going to start raining soon. Thank you so much, Patricia. I wish things could stay like this forever.
Why are you crying? This is sad.
While I agree the narrative is sentimental, I don't think it's something to cry about. Besides, I've got to come up with something good for dinner. It's tough trying to find something different every night.
I do, you cruel, insensitive, heartless demon! Take this! My deadly Hiyono screw punch! How dare you spoil the face of an unmarried maiden!
That's what you get for trying to punch me.
I find it highly suspect that Patricia doesn't make you cry.
Yeah, I'm not mentally unstable.
How can you not? Even the sky is crying! Oh, you're so evil! You bloodless and fearless demon! Cold-hearted villain! Amoeba! Human fly!
Come to think of it, I don't remember crying in a long, long time. I wonder why. Because of my brother?
Your mother passed on so suddenly. Eyes, listen to me. It's best to cry when you want to cry.
I'm not that kind of child anymore.
We grew up together, yet in all that time I have never seen you cry. Sometimes it's good to control your tears, but sooner or later it will become natural to hold them back. And eventually your heart will stop feeling anything at all. The more you can't cry, the less sadness you'll feel. Eyes, you're simply too nice. So you should cry. Even if you are one of the Blade children, you don't want to lose what's important to you.
Crying doesn't change anything. Besides, being a bloodless, tearless demon will be best when I face my destiny. But you'll be beside me. You'll be with me, and you'll cry my place, won't you?
Of course.
Then, that's enough. If you're with me, then I know I won't lose the things most important to me. I know it. Even in the pitch darkness, if we're together, we'll continue forward without losing our way.
That cat just ran out into the street. It got run over? Yeah, it's terrible. The poor little kitty.
The more you can't cry, the less sadness you'll feel.
But you'll be beside me. You'll be with me, and you'll cry in my place, won't you? I have no capacity for sadness. None at all.
You still haven't bought Madoka a Christmas present? Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, you know. What are you waiting for anyway?
You to stop bugging me?
To a girl, Christmas is the most important day of the year next to her birthday. Come on, Ayumu. Let's go buy her a present right now. I'll help you pick one out.
Let go.
No. What do you think of this? Or maybe this? Or how about this? Girls will love any present as long as you put your heart into it. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
ribbit, ribbit. I love it.
Oh. As if you could afford such a thing.
Beautiful. Ayumu, wake up! Come on, we've been at this for half the day and you still haven't bought anything. Do you even intend to buy her a Christmas gift at all?
Sure, I just don't want to give her anything you'd like.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, what about this? Ayumu, come look.
What do you mean? Which this?
This! That right there!
Can't.
Why?
Just look closely. There's no way anyone can get that.
Oh, how horrible. I've skipped meals and worked super hard to be helpful to you, and just look how I'm treated. But I'm not surprised. Not even Patricia makes you cry. You're nothing more than a bloodless, tearless demon.
All right, I'll try. Will that make you happy?
Will you really, Ayumu? Will you really? Ayumu! Cha-cha-cha! Naomi! Cha-cha-cha!
Alice, come with me. Come with me.
Canoon. I am one of the Blade children, but I'm not like the rest.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess you were right about the dinosaur being too big.
That's okay.
Hey, there's a gift wrapping shop. I'll get these things wrapped so you can give one to Madoka. You wait here, okay?
Jeez.
Hooray! 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 You can do it! Go!
Oh.
You did it! You did it! You did it! Good job, Ayumu!
Oh.
Here you go. One present for Madoka.
Thanks.
Well then, thanks for the Christmas present and for trying to get that dinosaur.
Sure.
See you tomorrow. And have a Merry Christmas, Ayumu.
I'm home.
Ayumu! Welcome home!
What's the big idea? I thought you would be working late tonight.
Of course not! It's Christmas Eve!
What the heck is Eve?
Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so tonight is Christmas Eve! So I decided it would be nice if I came home to have a nice dinner with my adorable brother-in-law. Aren't you glad?
You ought to stop acting dumb and take your job seriously.
Dumb? How could you talk to me like that? I'm your sister-in-law!
Oh, this is nice. Just how much did you have to drink?
Oh, you're such a party pooper. You should be more cheerful.
What on earth are you talking about?
Hey! I bet that's my Christmas present you've got there, isn't it?
Yeah?
You're such a good boy. Let's open the presents tonight. I'll be home late tomorrow, so let me have it tonight. Come on!
All right, sure.
We can't open them up now, right?
Yes.
Sorry, but did you notice this little chick is kind of wet and sticky?
It must have a sweating disorder.
Huh?
I better start dinner. What do you want?
I know! I want roast beef!
What?
Christmas and roast beef are practically synonymous!
Okay, fine. Roast beef it is. But I'll have to run to the store first.
Okay, sweetie, hurry back!
She's in a good mood tonight.
Hey, Yumu, since you'll be gone, can I listen to your CD?
Sure, go ahead.
Ice Rutherford is really popular right now, you know?
This piece. It's the one my brother really liked.
Little Narumi, if you plan to follow in your brother's footsteps, you'd better be on your game.
That was beautiful. We've got some time before the show. Is there anything you'd like to go over?
You have the set list?
Oh, yeah.
I would like you to prepare candles. Pass them out to all in attendance. The lights will fall during this piece, and thousands of candles will be lit.
Oh, what a romantic performance!
Perfect for something so petty as a charity concert. Yes.
Merry Christmas, Rutherford. In 5 hours' time, you'll be a dead man. Very shortly, even more dangerous hunters will appear to exterminate the Blade Children.
The skills are at best an imitation of Kiyotakas. You don't even begin to compare to the original. If you plan to follow in your brother's footsteps, you'd better be on your game.
Looks like they're my only lead.
Aha! I knew I'd find you up here. Even on Christmas Eve, you're just as gloomy as ever. Are you ever happy?
What do you want? Make it quick.
Ta-da!
That for me?
No.
Hunters.
So, it's finally beginning. Tell us everything.
Merry Christmas, Rutherford. In 5 hours' time, he will be a dead man.
What an elaborate Christmas gift. Dream it up yourself, did you?
Don't take it so hard. You are the top dog.
So, I guess I'll be getting an explosive package soon.
Don't you know, I'd never use a bomb on you, Rutherford. I wouldn't want to mess up your pretty face. No, it won't be a bomb. The sudden terrible death of the Great Eyes Rutherford will be a clear message for the rest of the Blade Children. Playtime is over.
He's threatening all of us.
A bomb, maybe?
Never. A bomb would be way too simple.
Exactly. The hunter might realize we dismissed it as a possibility because of its simplicity. He could use that against us.
There will be no bomb. The time he indicated is the start of the concert. With that much time, we could easily find a bomb anywhere on the premises. Certainly he would realize that.
But there's no guarantee that this guy's going to attack at the time he said.
That's what's bugging me. He could easily bump you off in any number of ways. So why go out of his way to inform us about it? What does he stand to gain by telling us ahead of time?
He must be really confident in himself. I mean, he has the gall to warn us and give us plenty of time to react. It's like he's taunting us, basically telling us that our resistance is pointless.
And if he also means for my murder to be a message to the Blade Children, he'll make it look like an accidental death.
A display of power. Even with all those people there at the concert, it could still be made to look like an accident. He wants to show us just how easy it can be to kill one of the Blade Children, doesn't he? The bastard must think he's some kind of hotshot. I'll kill him.
You'll do nothing. I will take care of this myself.
What are you talking about? This isn't about just you. He's declared war on all the Blade Children.
Rio is still an easy target. Should anything happen to me, you and Rio should go and hide.
Rutherford.
4 hours left, Rutherford.
The hunter?
Abandon any notions of this being a declaration of war. Our fight is not nearly so clean and simple as that.
Eyes, you still owe me my Christmas melon. Huh?
It's a Christmas present.
From Hiono.
If you're done, then get out of here.
Sorry, I'm not quite done yet. Where is my brother?
I have no idea.
Then what's a hunter?
How do you know about that?
Is this hunter after my brother as well?
I don't have to answer that! Now just get the hell out!
Just calm down. I realize you're worked up because your friend is being targeted.
You jerk! You were listening in on us!
It's just like Kosuke says, he's telling the truth. We have no idea where Kiyotaka is. Nobody knows where he is.
Why don't you just cancel the concert?
Eyes would never do that. That's exactly what the hunter would want.
So it's okay to put the lives of the audience at risk too?
Little Narumi, this is a situation you can't expect to understand. I'm trying to tell you as nice as I can.
Well, if you won't give me any information, then I'll just take it upon myself to stop this hunter and...
Kill or be killed. That's every single day for us. Sonobe was the first hunter. Imazato was another. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
If you're saying there's a reason for what you're doing, then I have my own reason.
Do as you wish.
There's no way around it. We need little Narumi's abilities. Merry Christmas Eve! I'm here to deliver your Christmas cake!
I don't remember ordering one.
It's from me!
Looks like we'll have the candles here just in time. Glance over the schedule and make sure it's all right.
What are you doing here?
Thought you might be lonely. Came to keep you company. There are no signs of the lights being tampered with. The stage is made of fiberglass, so it can't electrocute you. What about the piano?
I've checked it. It's tip-top.
So what? Can you think of any other possibilities?
Underground.
Huh?
The gas pipes.
Out of the question. No way. A flamboyant incident like that would attract way too much attention from the police. They'd know it wasn't an accident. The whole point of making it look like an accident is to avoid police intervention.
Figure anything out yet? You've got 2 hours. Seems I got 2 hours.
Damn!
There's a chance he poisoned Rutherford's food.
Did you eat any of that?
Poison affects each person differently. To determine a specific time of death would be difficult, but it is possible.
Jeez. How did I get talked into this?
Just have this tested, will you?
By the way, that crazy girl isn't with you, is she?
No, but I heard about you too. Your little indiscretion. And a police officer at that.
Oh no, I've been threatened! I'm gonna be blackmailed by that kid for the rest of my life!
Maybe.
The snow fell lightly, hoo-ah-hoo-ah-hoo-ah-dee, and drifted tranquilly into an angel made of white.
Weird song. So, have you and Ayumu made any sort of plans for Christmas vacation?
No, but Ayumu did volunteer to deliver all my Christmas presents for me.
Huh?
Will you quit it? It's become quite annoying.
However you look at it, there's no way to set a trap on stage. Maybe it is poison.
What's a hunter? Why is he trying to kill you?
Keep quiet.
What are the Blade Children?
I said shut up.
Answer me. Why are you trying to...
I'll tell you why. Because we're missing one of these.
Kosuke.
What does Ryo expect out of him anyway? How could someone like him be expected to save the Blade Children? He's just an eyesore.
You are expecting something of him as well. Otherwise, you would not have brought him here. This is a good chance to ascertain his skill.
Because we're missing one of these.
Our fight is not nearly so clean and simple as that.
It's the Blade Children. What kind of burden do they carry?
What did he say?
The food was clean. No poison. But that doesn't do much to help the current situation. I think you should consider canceling the concert.
I will not.
minutes left.
You will not get away with this.
Incidentally, I don't use poison.
He's bugging us.
He knows everything we've been doing.
Here it is. Damn it! This thing doesn't have much of a broadcast range. The bastard must be close by.
We're at standby, Mr. Rutherford.
Call off the show, Rutherford. This is no time to be stubborn.
Step aside.
I won't let you do it.
We die when we turn our backs on our own fate.
You could be killed if you go out there.
You would do the same as I.
Rutherford.
Let him go.
But why? What did you bring us out here for?
He may have more than one listening device. We can't take a chance by talking in there and having the hunter hear our plans.
What, so you know what he's got in store?
Of course, but we're running really short on time. Rutherford, go back and stall the show by 5 minutes. That short of a delay won't make him suspicious. We'll use that time to incapacitate the hunter. What will be the murder weapon of choice? A sniper attack.
How do you know?
I'll explain it once we've stopped the hunter.
Just so we're clear, if Rutherford gets killed, I'll kill you.
Right, so lights come down and...
I'm beginning 2 minutes early.
Huh?
Also, I'm opening with this song instead. Rearrange the order for me.
But we're about to...
Just handle it.
Told him delay the show. What the hell is he doing?
So you're ready to die?
Hurry up! We need to find where the sniper's hiding.
Considering the field of vision and ease of escape, the front right lighting tower facing the stage.
There he is!
I'll try and distract him. Why don't you come around from behind?
Got it.
Curtain call, Rutherford.
Don't shoot! Drop the gun, jerk! Stop! He purposefully made himself a target. What was he thinking?
It was his way of defying the hunter, as if to say, take your best shot.
He's insane. Even though the heat rising from the thousands of candle flames did create a distortion that blocked the sniper's view, it was still reckless.
Reckless? We've had our backs against the wall since the day we were born. Reckless is simply a way of life for us. By the way, how did you know it would be a sniper attack?
The bug he used. A pro would have used a more sophisticated one. He was counting on you finding it under the couch. The fact that he went out of his way to tell you he was listening is proof of that. Once I figured out that much, the answer came to me. The whole thing was a game to distract us from a simple shooting. Because you were being so cautious about the hunter, you overestimated him and lost your abilities of calm judgment and perception. As a result, you were lured into the incorrect theory that he would fake an accidental death. Check for yourself. There should be another listening device. One that's much more elaborate and not so easily found. You allowed yourself to be manipulated by the hunter, which made it easy for him to move around us and set up his attack. It was all a ruse to disguise a simple yet effective sniper attack. Hello?
Where in the world are you, Ayumu? You need